inside, fullbacks overlapping. Too often I'm seeing fullbacks underlapping. Underlapping fullback for me is a crazy thing. You're not seeing where the ball's going. If you go on the outside, you get the ball at the back, you look up, you're seeing everything. When that out run, it's
the only thing I'll say to you on that point, John, is Alistair Johnston does it very, very well. He can go outside and he underlap also, and he gets into brilliant positions.
I agree, but the majority of goals, I've played wide left. I've played with fullbacks that love flying around me. I always used to go in the park. Fullback always used to say, I'm going my outside, and I'll play that little pass in between a centre half and a fullback to the byline and cutbacks, and then you've got your midfielders and your strikers coming in for little side footers. So that'll be a typical Celtic performance. They'll have 80% possession, and the manager will be telling them, move the ball quickly, don't dwell on the ball. The quicker the ball moves, the quicker the opposition have to chase it, and they will tire. But 5 days now, 5 subs now, modern football, so you can get fresh legs on.
And don't give away silly free kicks in your own half to give the opposition a chance.
Without a doubt.
Just a reminder, the second of the Women's Scottish Cup semi-finals, Rangers against Montrose. It's a 1:30 kick-off. It's live on BBC One Scotland from 1:15. You can watch that on iPlayer, and of course make sure you stay tuned to the second half from here at Easter Road. The highlights of this one on tonight at 7:15 on the BBC Scotland channel. In the week ahead, the SPFL Roundup is online. The last full roundup from the Championship Leagues 1 and 2. Get that online, bbc.co.uk/sportscotland. This is the Scottish Football Daily podcast, Monday to Friday. Tuesday and Friday nights, the Premiership Playoff quarter-final. The Dunfermline Arbroath Dunfermline. The 2 matches live on the BBC Scotland channel. And of course live tomorrow evening from 5 o'clock, the big game that will round off the weekend. And what a game it is, Heart of Midlothian against Rangers from Tynecastle, live on Sports Sound, with the highlights tomorrow night at 10:30 on BBC One Scotland. So much to come in the week ahead, but my goodness, the next 45 minutes are going to be absolutely engrossing from the capital, from Easter Road, where it is Hibernian against Celtic. Dyson Maida's 12th of the season, giving Celtic the advantage, but within minutes Joe Newell had controversially poked home the equaliser deep into stoppage time. One apiece it is. Teams making their way back out onto the Easter Road pitch. Full live second half commentary with John Collins, Pat Bonner and Al Lamont.
Thanks again, Rich. Hibs planning a couple of changes, I gather, and not back out yet, but it sounds like they are going to just try and shore things up, you'd imagine, really, by replacing Martin Boyle and Nicky Cadden with Jordan Obita and Josh Campbell. So we'll see how that changes things in terms of how they shape up. Out come the home sides, led by the goal scorer Joe Newell, and still really no further forward as to why the goal would have been allowed to stand. I've, to be honest, not seen clear replays of the goal, but I'm basing it on what other people are saying, that it sounds like it did hit his arm, so yeah, still can't quite work out why the goal would be allowed to stand in that scenario. But we'll try and clear that up for you either over the course of the second half, or maybe with Richard later on post-match. I'm sure Martin O'Neill will be keen to understand why it was allowed to be given, as Hibs then prepare to get us back underway in this second period. One apiece then between Hibs and Celtic, despite the fact Celtic had 85% of possession in that first period. But they couldn't do enough with it, really, although having got that opening goal, you did expect them to go on and then continue and get further goals, as down goes Owen Elding, and the home fans want a free kick, but they're not going to get it, as Liam Scales plays it back to Sinisalo, and now it's Trusty. Looks like Scales and I was going to say Scales and Trusty have swapped from left to right, but actually they're back in their normal, well, Scales certainly on the left. Scales, despite being the left-footer as well, is the one who's asked to play on the right-hand side at the centre-back position for Celtic, and then Yang goes back to Trusty once more. So yeah, Campbell and Obita on for Hibernian. The guys will just keep an eye on exactly how that affects how Hibs are lining up. But certainly Obita's just gone to play left. I'm going to say left wing back, but in reality it's left full back of a 5 though. Obita for Cadden, and Campbell is on, and he does look like he's pretty much going up alongside Owen Elding, Josh Campbell, which is where Boyle was playing, John.
He likes to make those forward runs, Josh Campbell. He gets in the box, times it very well.
Maybe he'll be asked to work back the pitch as well. He'll have to, won't he? I mean, Hibs are going to need all hands to the pump in the second half if they are to continue and get something from the game, as they take a free kick over on the right hand side, and it's glanced on by O'Hara, and then Nugren just knocks it back to his goalkeeper, who deals with it and plays it well down the right hand side. Headed forward again by Iredale, claimed for a handball there by Engels, also ignored by the referee, and Celtic pick up. No changes for Celtic incidentally at the break. They are as you were, which is Sinisalo in goal, Johnston, Trusty, Scales, Tierney, Nugren, McGregor, Engels, Yang, Tenekti and Maida. Run through Hibs as they are in just a moment or two, as Yang just about finds McGregor despite Elding's presence. And on the halfway line it's Scales for Trusty, and then to Nugren. Yang out to Johnston. Yang goes down, and the free kick is given against Obita, and it's a yellow card for Obita, almost immediately having come on the park. I think he might have caught Yang in the face there with a flailing arm, and it's a free kick for Celtic in a decent position. It's right on the angle of the box, right hand side, just a few yards out from it, but certainly an opportunity here for Celtic to threaten.
Yeah, Obita's gone in, obviously into Jack Iredale's position. Iredale's come out onto the left wing back position. That's the change there, and then of course Campbell playing sort of up alongside Elding with Boyle off.
It's going to be Arne Engels to take this free kick, just a few yards away from that right angle of the box, as Celtic look to get themselves back in front at the outset of this second period. And it comes from Engels. Well, it should have done, but it didn't get beyond Owen Elding, who's the one-man wall, and Engels is going to have to come back all the way and funnel the centre-backs back into position.
He's got to be doing better than that. Engels, £25 million player. He got 8 players in the box and he hits the first man.
Yeah, he is generally speaking very good with his set piece delivery, but not on that occasion, as Yang picks up here. Obita close to him. Obita will have to be careful now, having already picked up that yellow card. Given away by Celtic. Elding picks up, he's giving it straight back to Johnston, and now Yang for Engels. Engels in that same position, the angle of the box. Nugren gets turned. Was he fouled? Yes, he was, by Josh Campbell, and it's a free kick in an even better position, arguably, just outside the penalty area, right of centre, and Nugren's saying it was a bit further forward than that. I tend to agree with him, but the referee's made his mark. Nugren's trying to pick up the spray somehow and then move it forward, which I don't think he can technically do, but nonetheless it's what, no more than sort of just over 25-26 yards from goal, right of centre. Arne Engels and Nugren both over it. This is a good opportunity, John. Yeah,
I think Nugren will be striking. He'll go in for a goal here. He can maybe get up and over the wall here, this distance out.
Yeah,
keeper's top left-hand corner. If I was him, I'd be going there.
Yeah, scored from a similar position at Tynecastle. Up he steps. It's off the top of the wall as well. Now the second ball's got to be won, and it's nodded behind by Iredale.
Ball did its job. Terrific. Timed its jump perfectly.
Yeah, it's Rocky Bashiri was just down there for a moment, holding his face or head, having got in the way of the free kick, which looked like it might have been bound for that very top corner John was talking about, but the wall did indeed do its job here, as Kieran Tierney from the right hand side swings it into the back post. Bashiri clears as far as McGregor. Thought about the first time shot, and then it trickles towards goal. It's a little deflection. Smith had to be careful, but he gathers just a couple of yards from his line, and it remains at the start of this second period. 50 minutes in, actually. Hibernian 1, Celtic 1.
Yeah, that little deflection took the pace out of it, didn't it? And it was easy save for him. Oh my word.
It was Warren O'Hara taking a chance against Dyson Maida there. He gets it forward eventually for Campbell, who flicks it into the path of Elding, and now the Hibs fans get behind their side because Obita picks up into the box. It comes. Scales does enough to get it away before Campbell can make anything of it. But already he's been probably more involved than Martin Boyle was in the entire first period.
Yeah, but he hasn't got a pace of Martin Boyle. That's the only difference. You know, I think the game against Hearts has taken it really out of Martin Boyle, isn't it? Because he did unbelievable amount of running in that game early on, especially when they went down to 9 men, and that was a...
Well, even in that first half, first 45 minutes, he was running all over the place, getting blocks in, left, right, covering full width of the park. Was he 33 years of age now?
Yeah, he's 33 exactly. As here comes Nugent, left-hand side of the box, tries to get it across goal. Terrific block in there, made by, it was Joe Newell backtracking there, and out for a corner, quickly taken short. Tinekti rolls it back to McGregor. And now Engels, and Tinekti once more left-hand side into Nugent. Goes for the give and go, but Nugent comes back the way, plays a little bit short. McGregor closed down quickly there by Josh Campbell, who almost nicked possession, but Celtic have it back, and Campbell will have to get into the way of chasing these lost causes. He's going to have to do that, you imagine, for much of this second period if his side are to take anything from the game. One apiece it stands though, and it's Tierney on the halfway line for Celtic. Scales for Trusty, and he's looking for movement. Here's Yang right hand side up against Obita, slides it for Nugent. Campbell trying to... Well, that could be a penalty. Well, what's the referee pointing for here? Because he's certainly not given a penalty.
No, he's pointing for a goal kick.
He is,
but I thought that was they pushed him over.
He did. If that goes to VAR, it'll be a penalty without a shadow of a doubt.
I mean, it's almost nonsensical from Campbell, because he's trying to shepherd the ball out of play, but he just forgets the ball and just shoves the Celtic player to the ground as the ball is still in play.
Surely the VAR's got to come in here.
Oh, he's got to have a look at it.
It's the wrong side. The referee hasn't seen it, obviously.
I mean, he must have seen it. It was the main thing that was going on in the game.
That's as blatant a penalty as you'll ever see.
He's never no contact with the ball, Josh Campbell. He's almost blocked him and then pushed him over the line.
I think
what's this?
There's a booking, a piece there for Josh Campbell and Scales for a little bit of a ruckus that resulted from that. I'm not hearing any VAR communication to suggest that.
Oh wow.
Yeah, I mean, they're confirming the yellow cards, but they're not interested in the claims for a penalty.
Well,
I think Josh Campbell is extremely lucky there.
So we're going to watch it here in slow motion.
Well, it's
so if I've just watched that on the screen, if VAR have not given that as a penalty, then every single one of them is involved should be sacked. It's absolute shambles.
Well, I don't know. I mean, they'll have their own rationale for it, but certainly Josh Campbell had no interest in playing the ball. I mean, you see similar situations, but usually because the ball's within playing distance. But on that occasion, the ball was drifting away almost, and he was just shoving Nugent to the ground. So Celtic have been on the wrong end of a couple of debatable decisions, certainly either side of half-time, which I'm sure they will hope they don't come to rue, as McGregor has it for Tierney here. And out to Tinekti, and angle the box left-hand side, back to Tierney again, and Tinekti once more up against Megwa, into the penalty area he comes. Low ball in is missed by absolutely everyone in there. Maida and Yang closest to it from a Celtic point of view, but that was an inviting ball in from Tinekti. You can't ask any more of your winger on that occasion, Packy.
Yeah, it was good defending though, because everybody was man-marked and they were up tight to them, and they didn't allow them to get any movement in the box, and I think that's what caused it. But it was a really terrific ball across, almost right across the 6-yard box, no takers.
just getting a bit of clarity on the goal awards for Hibernian at the end of that first period, the Joe Newell goal, when it seemed like it had hit his arm in the build-up. So the suggestion is that there wasn't sufficient evidence for VAR, because obviously the goal was given on field. There's not sufficient evidence that it ultimately hit his arm for VAR to be able to recommend that it's overturned, and that's why it was allowed to stand. So what a piece it is, and we definitely have a game on our hands here. 56 minutes in. Remember, Hibs have been down to 10 men since the 21st minute when Jamie McGrath was sent off. Celtic dominating the ball, having the better chances, but Hibs have got themselves level at 1 each. Again, it has been rather one-way traffic in this second period, but still no further goals as Trusty has it, but 10 yards inside it's the Hibernian half. McGregor back to Trusty, and now Scales. Wonder how much longer before Celtic consider some changes, which Tenekti back to Tierney. McGregor into Johnston, who's playing in that inverted role just at the moment, out to Yang right hand side, looks to get the better of Abita again. Bashiri's been in the way of a lot, and he gets that half clear. Abita helps it out of the box once more. Johnston will just try and see it out of play. Elding trying to make life difficult for him. Sorry, it was Campbell, and Johnston though able to get it to McGregor, and now it's Tierney for Tenekti out on the left hand side, up against Megwa again, back to Tierney. Early ball in from Tierney, headed away by Iredale, helped away by Campbell. Eldon gets it back to Campbell. It's good link-up play between the two front men. Campbell's looking for support now. He's not got really any. He just plays it down that left channel. Asks Eldon to go and chase it. McGregor's there ahead of him. The experienced Celtic skipper getting it back to Sinisalo there, and Celtic will start again from the back through Scales.
Celtic skipper leading by example, as always, composed on the ball, doing his defensive duties.
Here's Tenekti up against Megwa again. Chaiwa looking to offer a bit of support, and in the end it comes off Megwa, and then Chaiwa steps in to pick up possession, and they'll go down under a little bit of contact from Tenekti, and by his side a valuable free kick. Yeah, one apiece it stands after 58 and a half minutes.
I think Martin has got to be thinking about James Forrest at this point in time to bring him on, and you know, I'm looking at Tenekti, and he's had about 4 or 5 passes out to him now to start this game, and he's never gone by properly. He'd had one ball across the 6-yard box, 1 out of 5 out of 6. That's not enough for me.
No, he's got to do more. His confidence is low.
Free kick taken there by Jordan Smith down the right hand side. Campbell nods it in the direction of Chaiwa, but Engels is first to it, and Celtic have it. And again, Tenekti could have played that forward a bit earlier, and the Celtic fans are off to our right, chastising him in unison as Trusty plays it to Nugren, and then back to McGregor inside the centre circle for Scales. Celtic with just over half an hour to find the goal or goals they require to get the 3 points here at Easter Road. It's not a venue they've had great joy at times over the years. Here's Nugren trying to slip that through for the run of Engels. Hibs cut it out. Chaiwa takes the anywhere will do decision there and just plays it forward over the halfway line, but Celtic will start again.
It's just a matter of time. Hibs keep giving the ball straight back to Celtic. Be very surprised if they don't get a goal.
Here's Yang right hand side, good challenge. Did that come off Yang again last? No. Celtic throw in, good challenge by Iredale though, as Johnston throws it back the way to McGregor. An hour gone as Tierney picks up and plays it out to Tenekti left hand side, but 15 yards from the byline. Back into Engels it comes, and now Yang at the edge of the box, out to the right hand side to Johnston, back into Yang just inside the area this time, tries to go for goal, is blocked again by Iredale. Johnston will pick up on the right hand side, keeps the ball in play into the feet of Yang, back to Benjamin Nugren. Nugren midway inside the Hibs half. Tierney now picks up, he's going to go for goal. It's a poor effort though from Tierney, just drags it wide as James Forrest is now getting stripped. He's going to come on for the closing half hour or thereabouts.
Yeah, and it has to be Tonekti that he's bringing off, unless he moves him over this right hand side and takes Yang. At least Yang will go and he'll take on the full back, and you can see him that he'll try to go to the byline at times. Tonekti's had about 6, 7, maybe 8 passes in the second half, and I can't remember him just the one time that he's drilled the ball across.
Tierney closed down there by Chaiwa. Sounds like it's going to be a double change for Celtic with McCowan coming on as well, as Tonekti maybe has this one final opportunity then to make an impact, but he's run into trouble in the shape of Joe Newell, and he's lost out to the Hibs captain, but he's given it straight back to his opposite number, Callum McGregor, who plays the 1-2 in Nugent at the edge of the box. Now it's Johnston, clips it in looking for Maida. Megwa just got the wrong side of him, makes the challenge, but it breaks back to the goalkeeper Jordan Smith, and not sufficient there really for a reasonable penalty claim, I wouldn't imagine. And it remains after 61, almost 62 minutes, Hibernian 1, Celtic 1.
Let's be honest, Celtic aren't creating much. They're not looking danger at this moment in time, are they?
No, everything's in front of Hibs. Everything's back across, goes to Tonekti. He'll go 10 yards, check back, give it back to the midfielder, and that's and then it's sort of kind of back across the other side, and there's nothing really happening.
Hibs got a throw-in on the left-hand side, but it'll be delayed for the moment as James Forrest prepares to come on.
Taking Johnson off.
Yeah, Johnson's
actually probably smart,
making way as well. It's an attacking change because it's
हेलो गाइस, बड़ी साहब, वेलकम बैक टू न्यू वीडियो। एक बारी तो बनता था इस कैमरे को लेके आना अपने पुराने सेटअप में, so here we are. Anyways,
just waiting for the board to. Looks like it's going to be Benjamin Nugren actually. There's a suggestion that it was going to be it's Nugren's number that's held up.
Wow, he's
suggestion that Tonekti was going to come off there. No. Yeah. Tonekti is now getting the wave from Luke McCowan, and it is going to be the Tunisian international who trots off here.
Shaking his head. I'll tell you what, he should be shaking his head that he hasn't gone and done something on the pitch. I hate to see that from players, as if, you know what I mean.
He doesn't do enough. He has his little moments, but consistency, lacks consistency.
So Hibs have a throw in here, left-hand side, and it's going to be Jack Iredale to try and launch one into the Celtic box as Hibs look for an improbable second goal here, and it comes. Trusty wins the header at the edge of the 6-yard box. Newell gets it back out to Iredale, helps it back in. Sinisalis, who's claimed that one, he does, and he bowls it out immediately to Kieran Tierney as Celtic get moving. So effectively Celtic playing without a right back. No.
Ingles, I think, has come over onto this right hand side of play.
He's certainly not going to play as a conventional right back for sure.
It's almost like, are they playing 3 at the back with Tierney maybe playing as a kind of a...
It's definitely more attacking, and it's goals they need. One apiece at the moment. Hibs down to 10 men and have been since 21 minutes in when Jamie McGrath was ordered off for a bad challenge on Alistair Johnson. Here's Forrest getting involved, and McCowan tries to get it back to Forrest. Instead it comes to Nugren, challenged well by Newell. Now Chaiwa's brushed to the ground there by Yang. No free kick though, as Tierney helps it to Maida inside the box. Cross goal it comes. Obita gets something on it, as does Iredale, and knocks it out of play on this near side for a Celtic throw-in. One apiece, 25 to play. Celtic will absolutely kick themselves if they are unable to get over the line in this game, having been the absolutely dominant side against 10 men for a chunk of it. But here's McCowan, blocked by Bashiri, comes back to Nugren, that's also blocked. Bashiri's been a bit of a rock, so to speak, at the middle of that, and the heart of that Hibernian defence. Nothing much has got beyond them. Here's Forrest trying to get away from Obita, comes off Obita and behind for a corner.
Well, the one thing that Hibs can't be, the finger can't be pointed at them is they've tried really hard today. Everything they've done defensively to keep Celtic out.
Lots of excellent defensive work. working hard to get back into their positions. Just when they win it, can they keep it?
Short corner taken by Engels. It's picking back up here from McCowan though, but Hibs managed to get that clear, and I think that came off a Celtic player, but it's not going to get out of play anyway, as Tierney has to go across and mop up there. Gets it back to Sinisalo. 66 on the clock. 10-man Hibernian 1, Celtic 1. Both goals coming in the first period. Nothing yet in this second half. Try as Celtic might. Maida made a run there. Scales didn't see it, or didn't choose to play the pass at least. And
yeah, we spoke earlier before the game started about even when Hibs went down to 10 men, you know, getting the 3 points was the first objective. Yes. They haven't even been able to achieve that yet, Celtic. And that, forget the goals at this point in time, getting 3 points.
Yeah, goal difference can wait for another day perhaps, but yeah, absolutely, getting the 3 points is the primary objective for this Celtic side. As Chaiwa tries to play it off McCowan, and McCowan not happy. He thought it came back off Chaiwa, and the referee's going to give him a ticking off there for his reaction, but it will be a Hibernian throw in, as Hibs take as much time as they possibly can over every single dead ball for the moment. Quarter of the game to go, and as John was saying, Celtic haven't done enough in this second half to create the opportunities that they require, and so Hibs still level, and a point would be an enormous result for them given the circumstances. Campbell sweeps it forward down the right hand side, but this just feels like Hibs are being too wasteful in possession, and they don't have it for very long, and then they immediately give it back to Celtic when they do get it. It's just inviting further pressure on them.
Yeah, that was the issue last week against Hearts as well. They got back into their positions, they worked and they blocked, but they just kicked it straight back to Hearts, and eventually low averages, they'll create a chance and score a goal.
Here's McCowan, nudges that inside for Nygren, midway inside the Hibs half. Square for Engels, and now out to the right hand side for Forrest, up against Obita, comes onto the left foot, goes for goal, not a great shot, comes back to McGregor. McGregor now for Tierney at the edge of the area, he's gone for goal, but it's straight at Jordan Smith. Got a decent amount behind that, Kieran Tierney, but not the direction he required. And now as we tick towards 69 minutes, it remains Hibernian 1, Celtic 1.
Yeah, from that angle I thought maybe he'd be better knocking it back across, you know, the goal, so maybe somebody come in on the end of it.
Trusty has it. Kelechi Iheanacho is going to come on for Yang, we hear, as Yang has it at the moment though, left hand side, tries to play it through there for Maida, but too much on it, and straight behind for a goal kick to Hibernian. Here comes the change, and Yang's number is held up, so let's see if Kelechi Iheanacho, who's come up with a few important goals in his short Celtic career, can inspire them. Maida will go out left hand side, Iheanacho through the middle. Is he the man, do we feel, to get the goal?
Well, he is a goal scorer, and you know, he's a man for the big moment. I think also if you know, that's, I think when he's been used as a sub, he comes on and looks sharp, looks dangerous, links, shows an appetite to get on the ball.
Well, Celtic have won on 3 of their last 4 league visits here. I was saying they've not always had great joy. Previous to that, it was only 3 wins in the 15. So certainly in recent times it's improved, but of course Hibernian won at Celtic Park in the last meeting as McCowan plays in Maida. It's a big chance for number 2. Maida took his time, and it comes off the back of Megwa, but Maida almost took too long there to make up his mind what he was going to do, and it drifted wide and the chance had gone. Another big opportunity passed up.
His touch took him away wide again,
as it always does.
You know, he should have been his touch in towards the goal, and then the goal, making the goalkeeper then have to make a decision. Goalkeeper just,
it could be in again. Out comes Smith to clear before Maida can latch onto the through ball there. Hibs almost opened up as Engels has to tidy things up at the other end, and Campbell almost onto that one. Still one apiece.
It's a couple of terrific little passes from McCowan through.
Yeah, he's certainly got that in his locker, isn't he? Here's Tierney looking for Maida on that left-hand side. Again, he's found him. Maida in towards Iheanacho, but Iredale was in the way. Behind for a Celtic corner as the pressure mounts once more on that Hibs back line.
Yeah, but Maida now's gone out on the left-hand side. Now he's making runs. Now he's making the natural runs that he's capable of doing in behind with his pace. And the ball's just played in there. That's 2 or 3 times he's got there now, which was missing for most of this second half.
Arne Engels from the left-hand side with the latest Celtic corner. Can they get their noses back in front with 20 to play? Just a little bit under that. Engels, right-footed, swings it right in on top of Jordan Smith, who I think got a touch to that to take it over. It might have swung right out of play on its own without the touch from Smith, but he couldn't take any chances, and fingertips it for another Celtic corner to be taken on this occasion by Kieran Tierney on the right-hand side. But it'll come right back into that mixer, you would imagine, although Forrest is there. Should he choose the short option, moving away now, and it comes from Tierney near post. Ball comes to Iheanacho on the back post, he buries it! Celtic back in front, and that man Kelechi Iheanacho leads the celebrations. He had so much time inside the Hibs penalty area, he was able to chest it down before ramming it home. It is Hibernian 1, Celtic 2.
Tremendous bit of composure from Iheanacho in the box, bodies all around him. He's popped it up in his chest. It looks like it's taken an eternity to come down. He's kept his eye on the ball and fired it in the back of the net.
He stood where he was in a bit of space. The ball's flicked onto the near post, just come off the top of somebody's head, and there he was, to be able to use that ability to chest it and just compose, then just to strike it into the back of the net. Incredible substitution. We did say it. One man for the big moment.
Hibs are going to make a switch here before we get restarted. Their goal scorer Joe Newell is going to be replaced by Dan Berlaza in the heart of the Hibs midfield. But Celtic are back in front. Kelechi Iheanacho, once again the man for the big occasion, a 7th goal of the season for him, and it could yet be such a precious one for his side. 2-1 they lead now with just under 20 to play.
You can't keep giving the ball back to Celtic. Eventually the quality shows through,
and it did on that occasion from Kelechi Iheanacho. So Celtic leads, and as things stand, go level on points with Hearts, who have the game in hand tomorrow at Tynecastle against Rangers, which will of course as always be live with us right here on Sportsound on BBC Radio Scotland, as Rangers are the visitors to Tynecastle. And how will that one go? How will the title race look at the end of this bank holiday weekend? And we can hear the Celtic fans once again getting right behind their side, because they feel that having gone ahead for a second time, surely they've got enough about them to ensure that Hibs cannot come back and equalise a second time themselves. But you just never know. But in this season of all seasons, Hibs trying to come forward there through Iredale. He gets the ball back and is challenged by McGregor, but he's beyond him, and then he plays it infield to Elding, who was trying to link with Campbell but couldn't quite do so. Back to Sinisalo, who gets there just before Elding, and then played forward up to Iheanacho on the halfway line. Holds it up brilliantly and finds Nugren now, who tries to thread it through for Maida. No way through on that occasion as Megwa makes the challenge. Nugren just about gets the better there of Barlaza, then loses out to Bashiri, and him pick up on the halfway line through Campbell. Obita trying to come forward in support. It's Campbell left hand side, he comes back the way instead to Iredale. Just over a quarter of an hour of the 90 left to play. 10-man Hibernian 1, Celtic 2, as Forrest knocks it out of play on this near side. Hibernian throw just inside the Celtic half. David Gray with the ball in his hands, waiting for Jack Iredale to come and take the throw in, just in front of that Hibs technical area. Back the way it goes to Bashiri, and now infield for Hora. Hibs look like they've gone a little bit more adventurous, with Obita pushed a bit further forward, certainly for the moment, almost like a back four, with Obita pushed up. That might change again, of course, but certainly while they're in possession here, albeit the ball's back with Jordan Smith in his goal area. He fires it forward, looking for Elding, but Trusty rises above him, and then Scales gets it to Engels, who has dropped back into that right back position now that Celtic have got themselves back in front in the game. Out to the left hand side for Tierney, and now McCowan, who's made a difference, injected a bit of energy and life into that Celtic midfield. Trusty now out to the right hand side for Engels. Ralston's going to come on to provide a bit more of a natural right back as they look to ensure nothing silly happens. There'll be a little nutmeg there on Forrest, then gets away from Engels. Hibs have worked that one well, but the pass in the end from Barlaza for Megwa is too close to Kieran Tierney, who cuts it out, but O'Hara picks up. Celtic giving Hibs a bit of encouragement here. Iheanacho, the pullback on O'Hara, and it'll be a free kick to Hibs.
It was really
in
poor
the middle
play.
Of the park.
Really poor play from Kieran Tierney. He didn't need to go down, he didn't play it forward, he's got to show more composure there.
Benjamin Negrin this time will be replaced by Tony Ralston. That will allow Arne Engels to take his place back in the midfield, and Ralston will slot in at right back. But what Celtic don't want to do is let Hibs get back into the game again. Yeah,
Hibs have responded well to conceding the goal. All of a sudden they've started saying, right, we're going to start passing it. Players are starting to want it.
It was clever from David Gray also. He pushed a bit into that sort of almost left wing position where Celtic didn't have a right back. That's forced Celtic now putting Ralston on to just get a little bit of cover in there.
Free kick's taken to the edge of the box. Trusty and O'Hara go up for it, and it's knocked out for a throw in to Hibs on this near side, quickly taken by Obita back to Chaiwa on the halfway line. Chaiwa trying to step away from Forrest here into the centre of the park. He comes, terrible pass from Chaiwa, tired looking pass as he tried to find Barlaza, and it's out of play over on the far side for a Celtic throw. We've got 77.5 on the clock. It is Hibernian 1, Celtic 2.
Well, I know what Martin O'Neill will be wanting. He'll be wanting another goal to get his heart rate down.
Absolutely.
Back with Trusty, midway inside his own half. Square to Scales. Scales brings it up towards the halfway line. This would take... it's a good ball for Maida, actually. Maida's first touch, he should be able to catch that. He cuts it back, and Megwa there before Iheanacho could do any further damage.
That run from Maida there, and then he did. If he does it and he gets the timing of it right, you can't deal with it. And then it's all but the pass in behind. It was a decent little chip pass from Scales over the top, but he gets into a great position. Just try to pick somebody out.
He's got incredible stamina. All other players round about him are getting tired. He's still going strong, still getting to the byline.
Arne Engels preparing to take the corner kick from the left hand side for Celtic as they look to maybe take this game away from Hibs with a third goal. 2-1 they lead here. Engels whips it in right again on top of Jordan Smith, who catches that one, and immediately Owen Elding's set off, and Smith will try and find him again. His distribution's not what it might be, and Ralston heads back over the halfway line. Up goes Megwa, beats Engels in the jump, then Maida's first to it again, plays it back the way over Kieran Tierney. Not an ideal ball. Tierney tries to help it back to his goalkeeper, which he manages to do, and Sinisalo clears out to the left hand side. O'Hara's there, but only finds Scales at the edge of his own penalty area. We've got just over 10 minutes left in the 90 as David Gray waves back a couple more subs. He's going to make final changes here as he looks to get his side back into Engels, though, out to the left hand side to Maida. Maida coming up towards the penalty area, swings it in, it's too much on it. Forrest couldn't get there at the back post. It's going to come all the way for a throw-in down at the corner flag to Hibernian, and it will remain 10-man Hibernian 1, Celtic 2, 10 to play.
Yeah, he was unfortunate there. He just got a wee bit too much height on that ball, but it was the right idea. Yep. Get it in early. Players getting into the box.
Owen Elding's gone down here, not maybe a bit of cramp. He's done a whole lot of running up there.
He's done an incredible amount of work for his team. Thankless task at the top of the pitch.
Hibs certainly considering changes anyway. I think Antti Shuto's going to come on, and Dane Scarlett, so two front men coming on. Let's see, you would imagine it's going to be Owen Elding to make way. I wonder who else, but certainly attacking changes regardless of who else comes off. So Elding replaced by Scarlett, and on loan Spurs man coming on, yet to score for Hibernian. This would be a decent old day to do it. And Shuto has replaced Jack Iredale, so definitely
going for it.
David Gray's got to go. He's got to go for it. I mean, there's nothing to lose at this stage, is there? So it will be a throw into Hibernian to restart the game. Jordan Abita preparing to take this one from a very deep area. Just throws it back to his goalkeeper, who wasn't even paying attention, and then eventually he's alerted to the fact that the ball's coming his way. Nice nod down there by Shuto, and he gets it back from Scarlett. Can Hibs somehow get themselves level for a second time in the game? In the end, Shuto stumbles over his own feet and then fouls Maida, who'd come back to close him down, and a promising looking Hibs move ends in a free kick to Celtic deep in their own territory with almost 82 played at Easter Road. 2-1 the home side trail. The defeat here against Hearts was just a third at home all season, but heading for a fourth in pretty short order, unless they can do something bordering on the miraculous in the closing few minutes here. The ball's played forward. Shuto links with Scarlett. Scarlett on the edge of the box. He's going to take it on, and it's well off target from Dane Scarlett. As I say, he's not scored for him since he moved from Spurs on loan, and the build-up play was decent enough. The finish was well wide, and it remains Hibernian 1, Celtic 2.
This is an edgy period for Celtic. Hibs forwards that have come on are looking fresh, looking hungry.
Yeah, they've got that extra player though, John. They've got to make the most of it. Hibs working hard, closing them down, I've got to say.
Yeah, you can't fault the work ethic from Hibernian, the players they've got left out there, but David Gray, as I mentioned earlier, will be so frustrated at having lost a player so early in the game. To another sending off as McCowan feeds it into Iheanacho at the edge of the box. Iheanacho currently the match winner. Ralston back out to Forrest right hand side. Ralston once more, and back to McGregor infield. McGregor plays it square to Tierney, midway inside the Hibs half. Forward to Iheanacho once more, just outside the box. Tries to spin away from Bashiri. Now it's Ralston, well advanced here at the edge of the area. Out to Forrest, steps away from Obita into Iheanacho inside the area. Turns outside, now it's Kieran Tierney. Maida on the left hand side, trying to find a bit of room here. Engels, that may have been a handball as Chaiwa stepped in, but no real claims and nothing given certainly. As Hibs get it clear, but Celtic pick up once more. They just want to be certainly keeping the ball and if possible creating a third goal for themselves to give them a cushion for the final few moments and take away any nerviness that might affect them. But Scales has got it through to Ralston. Right hand side is James Forrest.
It's a good little bit of play from Celtic. They're taking the sting away from Hibs. Lots of possession, moving the ball nice and quick.
Scales for Tierney, closed down by Chaiwa. Left hand side for Maida. Back with Tierney, steps inside and finds Engels. Good play from Celtic, and now it's Ralston up to the edge of the area, tries to play it for Forrest will cut it back, and Iheanacho was looking, but O'Hara got there ahead of him and Hibs managed to clear. Celtic keeping the pressure on though. Scarlett having to work hard, he's lost out at the edge of his own penalty area. McGregor has it, now it's McCowan, back comes Campbell to win it though for Hibernian. And Hibs try and come forward. Scarlett for Shuto, but he couldn't latch onto it, and Scales will knock it back to Sinisalo inside his penalty area. Hibernian 1, Celtic 2. 3 minutes plus stoppage time left in the game. And Celtic look to be joining Hearts at the top of the table, unless there is a sting in the tail at the end of this period as there was in the first. But here comes Celtic. Is Maida left hand side looking to play an Iheanacho. It's a poor ball though, and Bashiri able to leave that for Jordan Smith, and it remains Hibernian 1, Celtic 2.
Another terrific run by Maida, getting in behind him, using his fitness and pace, but as always, too often this final ball lets him down.
Jordan Smith just caught by Iheanacho as he tried to release it from the edge of the box, and he's gone off the pitch to get a ball. In the meantime, the Hibs dugout have thrown another 2 on the field, so they'll have to choose one of them and get this free kick taken quickly as far as Hibernia are concerned. We're into... Sorry, I think I said there was 3 minutes left to play. There was 5 minutes left to play. Misreading the clock over on the far side. Jordan Smith again. That's really let him down. His distribution from either from hand or from
dead balls. It's not even from open play. It's just from dead balls. He just keeps kicking the ball the wrong direction or out of play. That's a critical part of the game now.
I don't know what he's doing in the training pitch Monday to Friday. Nobody pressing him. Perfect pitch. He can't kick it straight.
Iheanacho, looked like a handball. Ball comes off McCowan and out for a throw in to Hibernian inside their own half, left hand side. To be taken by Obita. Both sets of coaching staff out, urging their players on for the final few minutes here. Both teams needing the result here. But at the moment it's Celtic who look like clinching it. As the ball's played up towards Iheanacho. Bashiri does well, gets it forward. Engels just hooks it over his own head up towards the halfway line. Obita returns it. Ralston in the way this time, heads it forward down the right hand side. Forrest can't keep it in. It will be Hibernian thrown on the halfway line. Obita hurls it down the left, looking for Shuto, who nods it infield for Scarlett, who gets it back to Shuto, left hand side. Trusty's across there. Shuto just plays it into the box, and Engels hooks it away out of play for another Hibernian throw-in. O'Hara says to Obita, no, just hold on a second, I'll come across and take this one. And from about 20 yards from the corner flag, he's going to try and hurl this one into the penalty area. 2.5 left of normal time, plus a bit of stoppage time. Hibs looking for a leveller here. 2-1 they trail in the closing stages. O'Hara into the near post area. Ralston gets up and heads it, and then Forrest helps it on. We knock back to the halfway line here for Megwa. Megwa plays it to his right to Chaiwa. He'll be closed down by the ever active figure of Dyson Maida, but Chaiwa's done well. He steps away from Maida, right hand side, low ball in's cut out well by Tierney, and Celtic pick up once more. Iheanacho's lost it though to O'Hara. Should have held onto the ball a lot better there, the experienced striker. Now Hibs come again, back with Obita, left hand side, swings it in. Liam Scales gets the head to it. Is it going to be kept in by Tierney before it goes out for a corner? Yes, is the answer, but it's picked up by O'Hara. Again, he's there before Iheanacho. O'Hara right hand side. He'll try and get this ball back into the box. Up goes Scarlett. Might come from Shuto. Wide the goal. That is a chance and a half for Antti Shuto, particularly at this time in the game. 1.5 minutes of the 90 left to play. He just needed to wrap his left foot around it. He couldn't quite manage to do so, and knocks it wide of target, and it remains Hibernian 1, Celtic 2.
He's not far away.
He just didn't know. He didn't know where he was. Actually, was he inside or outside the post? And he was outside the post, and he's just turned and hit it.
Sounds like there's going to be 4 minutes added on at the end. We're into the final minute of the 90 right now. Antti Shuto, I'm not sure he's going to get a better opportunity than that. I'm not sure Hibs are going to get a better opportunity than that. It wasn't by any means a sitter. Antti Shuto, as Packy said, he was facing away from goal, had to wrap his boot around it. He was outside the post, so not a disgrace that he sent it wide of goal, but in the grand scheme of things, Hibs haven't had many better opportunities as Ralston sends a rather dodgy pass back Sinisalo's way, but the Finn manages to make up the ground. And
poor from Celtic goalkeeper.
Yes. But look at where the two centre forwards are the two strikers as such. Maeda and Iheanacho's way over on the opposite side. They've got to work across.
Smith clears up towards the halfway line. Up goes Trusty, nods it down, but Chaiwa's there first. Still fully running Miguel Chaiwa, tracked by Engels. Gets it to Obita, left hand side. We're into the 4 minutes of added on time as Engels has it on the halfway line. Gets it out to Tierney. Celtic just need to ensure they don't do anything silly. Doesn't matter if they don't get a third goal now, they just need to avoid conceding.
Have to keep the ball, players have to make themselves available. Everybody wants the ball, we've got a spare man.
Hibs have played with 10 since the 21st minute. Jamie McGrath red carded. Celtic getting themselves in front, then pegged back by Joe Newell. But at the moment, Kelechi Iheanacho's strike having come off the bench, scoring after 72 minutes, looks like it might be the goal. That sends Celtic level just behind Hearts on goal difference with 3 to play, albeit Hearts will have 4 to play as they welcome Rangers to Tynecastle tomorrow night. Hearts' victory in that one could end Rangers' faint title hopes, you feel. That would be 7 behind Hearts if they were to lose that one. As the ball's played forward, Scales nods it back to Sinisalo, takes a little touch on the thigh before grabbing it, before Schutel can get there.
Scales did very well there, he was aware where Scooter was.
Trusty plays it to Ralston, infield to McGregor. 2.5 minutes left to play here at Easter Road as Tierney plays it forward down the left to Maida. That looked like it gone out of play, yeah, the assistant eventually signals for a throw-in. Engels is going to get a yellow card for kicking the ball away there.
Yeah, silly little mistakes from Celtic, isn't it? Putting the pressure on themselves and not able to control the game.
Back it goes to Jordan Smith. Out to Bashiri. Closed down by McCowan. McCowan up against Bashiri. Bashiri just got his body across and forced to the ground by McCowan, and that means Hibs have a free kick just inside the Celtic half. But what it does allow is Bashiri and O'Hara to make their way forward, and can they capitalise on a free kick in injury time as they did in the first half? So a yellow card there for Liam Craig in the Hibs dugout, one of David Gray's assistant coaches there. But it's going to be Dan Barlaza then to take this free kick on the halfway line. Could be pretty much the last opportunity here for Hibernian to snatch a point, and that's very much where it would be, snatching it. We've had so few opportunities. Barlaza sends it to the edge of the box. Up goes Scales, it's going to come all the way through to Josh Campbell. Just slips at the wrong moment as far as he's concerned. McCowan takes it off him and plays it forward for Tierney, left hand side. Tierney challenged over there in the far flank. That's going to be a
Yeah, 5 changes. As Danny mentioned there, Oliver Glasner, 5 changes. It's not... Brennan Johnson, terrible, it's not terrible, is it? I mean, Brennan Johnson, Jorgen Strand-Larsen, Lerma, you always know what you're going to get from him, and Devaney coming into the team, and Riyadh, although they are going to miss, surely, the likes of Sarr and Wharton in particular.
Yeah, but they do have those options from the bench, though, now. I think you look at his Palace squad now, and it's not massive in depth, but it's decent in quality. You know, you look at the names on the bench that you just mentioned. You know, if the game doesn't go according to plan, they're able to kind of bring those players on. And the players that have come into the starting 11 are not bad players at all. You know, you're probably looking at the signing of Brennan Johnson in January, and you probably maybe would have expected a little bit more from him so far, but he is a very good player. Yeremy Pino, you know, he has that creative spark as well. So I think it was important for Palace to kind of freshen things up off the back of midweek. You don't see Oliver Glasner make too many changes. 5 is quite a lot for him. But look, it's still a very competitive Crystal Palace team.
2 changes for Andoni Iraola, the side that drew 2-2 with Leeds last weekend. Tyler Adams and Ryan come into the starting lineup, with Ryan Christie and David Brooks dropping to the bench. And as you mentioned, Danny, what an opportunity for them. They've just taken the photos with the mascots in the centre circle, and we are getting ready for kickoff as both sides go into the huddle. 5 Sports Extra 2 from the BBC Sport website, and BBC Sounds, bringing you live Premier League commentary, and 5 Live brings you more live Premier League commentaries than anyone else. Crystal Palace are in their white change kits with the blue and red stripe down the middle vertically of their kits, with white shorts and white socks, and Bournemouth in their red and black stripes, black shorts and black socks. And it will be Bournemouth to get us underway with Petrovic in goal. The back four: Alex Jimenez, James Hill, Marcos Senesi and Adrian Truffert. Scott and Adams in the centre, Ryan, Tavernier and Krupi in behind, Evan Nielsen up the top, as the referee Robert Jones checks with his two assistants. And away we go in the Premier League. It's Bournemouth versus Crystal Palace, and they immediately go long, as they have done all season. They usually try and put the ball out of play, Bournemouth, early, but they've committed a foul, and then try and box the opposition in and press. But they've given away a free kick for Crystal Palace.
Yeah, see many a team kind of do that, don't you, from the kick-off, and it's almost like a rugby league kind of tactic, isn't it? Kind of kick for touch and get your team up the pitch, kind of box the opposition in and try to win the ball back in a high area. Even saw PSG do it in midweek, which I'm kind of astounded by. With we know the football that they love to play. So I don't think you'll probably see Bournemouth do that many more times now they've kind of kicked off. But it is how a lot of teams kind of tend to start.
It was one of the only tactics we saw in that game, wasn't it? Actually, it just seemed to be just go and attack was the attack tactic from both sides. But Bournemouth have won a throw-in, level with the Crystal Palace penalty area on the right-hand side. Crystal Palace fans waving their blue and red flags on their feet, banging the drum in the corner opposite us. And it's going to be Hill with this long throw. In it comes towards the near post, flicked on. It was a good flick, comes back out to Hill, who's got a chance to cross. There are still 5 waiting in the penalty area here for Bournemouth for a cross. Hill on the right, and now some space down the outside for Tyler Adams, who puts in a deep cross, far post, over everyone. Tavernier's going to try and keep it in, and he's made a mess of it. Tried a little sort of Cruyff, really, on the far side, but it just came off both feet and went out of play.
Yeah, another tactic that's fully back in force, that kind of long throw every team kind of seems to have one now this season, and Palace just struggling there to kind of clear that 18-yard box, and Tyler Adams just kind of drifting out to this right-hand side, just makes a run down the line, gets in fairly easily, just kind of overhits that cross with plenty of time to size the cross up. And as you mentioned, Marcus Tavernier, the far side, desperately trying to keep it in, and the ball just kind of ricochets off both feet, goes out for the throw-in.
Bournemouth in possession on the halfway line. That's lovely feet from Senesi, who plays the ball forward. 5 assists from centre-back for Senesi this season. He's broken the lines more than most this season when he plays forward balls. He leads the Premier League, actually, for line-breaking passes into the final third. 161, 30 of them have led to shots as Bournemouth give the ball away to Crystal Palace, who have possession with Pino on the left-hand side. Halfway line. Ryan wins it back and gets the ball to Junior Krupi. Comes off a Palace player, and it's out for a throw-in right-hand side, midway inside the Palace half, and it's 0-0.
Yeah, and those kind of stats are going to be attractive to bigger clubs in the summer. Senesi kind of being on a free in the summer as well. Looks like they're going to lose him, another important player. So there'll be a lot of bigger clubs that will be looking at those kind of stats. We know the games played these days, and you see a lot of defenders having touches, and those kind of progressive passes into those midfield areas are really, really important for those possession-based teams. So it'll be interesting to see where he maybe goes in the summer.
Been a great signing for my fantasy football team. He's been very, very good with those 5 assists. No goals in the Premier League this season, though, for Senesi, as Palace aim a long free kick. Bit of head tennis. Bournemouth come up with possession with Truffert. He's about 10 yards outside his own box. In the sunshine, it's just come out. Floodlights are on as well. Dry, warm day, not much wind. Perfect football day, sort of 15, 16 degrees. Players will be absolutely loving this. Pitch looks perfect. Ball's out of play. And it's a throw-in. And the assistant referee in his turquoise down below us says, you're not taking the throw-in from the right place. I've told you where to take it from. And Devaney wearing the number 55. In fact, it's a free kick. Telling him where to take it from. Palace with a free kick deep in their own half. 5 Live Sports Extra 2 in the BBC Sport website. With Bournemouth looking for Europe. Results went for them yesterday. 8th in the table as it stands. And a chance to go above Brighton and above Brentford if they were to win their game in hand here this afternoon. Drawn a lot of matches, of course. Last 5 home games, more 0-0s than you'd think. Not that I want to, bring that into it. Don't want to tempt fate, Danny. But I have been at a few Bournemouth 0-0s, which you wouldn't think, the football they play.
Yeah.
And the attacking threat they've got, you wouldn't have thought there'd been that many. But here is Pino for Palace on the left-hand side. Halfway line. Little dink ball through. That's a lovely looking pass. And here's Brennan Johnson in the penalty area. He's forced away from goal. Back to Devaney. Hits a first-time deep cross, far post. Palace win the header, but the second ball should be won by Tavernier for Bournemouth on the left, and he drives down the touchline. He's got a runner ahead of him, and it's Evan Nielsen. Can he find him? He does, and he goes down under a challenge, and it's a free kick. Very clever that from Evan Nielsen. I think he was looking for it. Definite contact, free kick for Bournemouth.
Yeah, it was just a little bit too easy from a Crystal Palace perspective. As that cross came in deep from Devaney, they lose the challenge, and then very easy for Tavernier to pick the ball up deep, and he just drives forward. No one really goes to pressure him, closing down. Then he's able to get his head up and kind of put that ball in behind Canvo. Evan Nielsen just getting the wrong side of him, and he just bundles into the back of him. 100% a free kick there.
14 games unbeaten, Bournemouth, the longest Premier League unbeaten run currently. And as I mentioned, 8th with a chance to go 6th.
Yeah, well, as you said, John, 16 draws this season. That's 3 more than anyone else in the Premier League. And if they converted a few of those kind of draws into wins, they'd probably be qualified for Europe already. You look at the game at Selhurst Park earlier in the season where they were in full control of that, and that ended up being a 3-3 draw. You look at the last Premier League game, Leeds 2-0 up and allowing Leeds to come back. Just that kind of game management at times in games has kind of cost them, but on a great run at the minute, as you say.
Yeah, 8 goals after the 90th minute have led to a game changer as the ball comes in low, flicks off a Bournemouth player, hooked back in by Senesi, then nodded towards the Crystal Palace goal, and now a header forward. It's all a bit messy and hacked away in the end, left-footed by Crystal Palace up towards the halfway line. And Alex Jimenez with his bleach blonde partially, he's just had the tips done, hair, tattoo, full sleeve on his left arm. Gets the ball to Truffert, switch of play to the left-hand side for Bournemouth. Now Alex Scott, who's been so impressive this season with his Alice band on. Bournemouth keeping possession with Tyler Adams, the American. Deliver the centre circle inside the Crystal Palace half. This isn't how Bournemouth have been best this season, with possession and a team sitting off, and Crystal Palace and Oliver Glasner will be well aware of that. They are a team who likes to break and almost play without possession, as Senesi chips a ball over the top, looking for Tavernier. Palace deal with it, and then it's cleared away by Lacroix. Helped on by Strand Larsen, but I think he's overhit that, and Bournemouth will be in possession again. Danny Gabardon.
Yeah, this won't be an issue for Crystal Palace, as you say. You know, they're brilliant out of possession, really well organised, 3rd best defence in the Premier League. 3-1 winning midweek with 31% possession in that game, so they don't mind not seeing the ball.
Krupi Jr. in possession. Gets it to Scott, who is the one that could unpick the Palace back line. Now out on the left-hand side to Tavernier, wearing the captain's armband, drifts back infield. Adams. I mean, everyone is within 40 yards of the Palace goal line at the moment, apart from Petrovic. Slid out of play for a corner for Bournemouth by Munoz. So Bournemouth have a corner. And those Palace fans are boisterous. It's a good atmosphere, actually. Obviously not the biggest capacity here, but the vitality. But what a season they've had under Andoni Iraola. Both managers leaving at the end of the season. And I've really liked him when I've interviewed him, and the work he's done here at Bournemouth. Andoni Iraola. As Tavernier is going to take this corner for Bournemouth from the right. It's going to be a left-footed in-swinger. In it comes. Good delivery. Keeper gets a hand on it. Not a strong punch, but enough to get it away towards the edge of the area. Bournemouth win it back, and Krupi hits one. Shouts for handballs. Going to come to Ryan.
It's decent delivery. Henderson actually does really well. He wasn't the best of the punches, but he had to kind of get there. Otherwise, it's a free header. And then again, Bournemouth doing a good job of kind of recycling that possession on the edge of the 18-yard box. Tempted shot kind of gets blocked, comes across to Ryan, and he's just got that half yard. He's looking to bend it with that left foot into that far corner. Just takes a little nick off Devaney for the corner.
Scott's going to take it from the left, right-footed, in-swinger. Good delivery, cleared off the line. Oh, almost an own goal. Oh, and it's over the line. A buzz from the watch, and it's an extraordinary own goal from Jefferson Lerma against his former club. And Bournemouth lead in the most extraordinary circumstances. They're crediting Evan Nielsen, but this could go down as an own goal. I mean, the header was on target, but the clearing header was headed back towards his own goal. It's Bournemouth 1, Palace 0.
Well, it will go down as an own goal. It's as simple as that. It's really poor from Lerma. He's just trying to react, really. It's great delivery from Scott from that far side. In-swinging delivery. Evan Nielsen gets the ball first, free header, and he's trying to glance it towards that far post. Lerma's kind of on that post and just completely heads the ball the wrong way, comes off the wrong side of his head. And then Henderson just desperately trying to react, dive into his left and tries to claw it back from over the line. But all the ball has gone over. It's a brilliant start for Bournemouth. They've been the better of the two teams. They started the sharper of the two teams. And they'd be really disappointed with that Crystal Palace. The concede from a set piece. Free header for Evan Nielsen. Really poor from Jefferson Lerma.
And there's a poor back pass. And Evan Nielsen could be in, but he's outpaced by Lacroix. And then the flag goes up from the assistant. And play on, says Robert Jones. I mean, you're right, Danny. That was extraordinary, wasn't it? You know, you talk about... It's a bit of a 50p head job, isn't it? I mean, what is going on?
Yeah.
He's just headed it in completely the wrong direction.
Well, I think he's trying to react first. So the ball obviously comes through bodies. He's trying to react to it as quick as he can, and he almost kind of dives at it with his head, and he just comes off the wrong side of his head. As Henderson almost does a brilliant job to kind of stop that going over the line, diving full stretch to his left.
It's been credited to Evan Nielsen. Was the initial header on target, do you think?
Well, we'll have to see that again. Difficult to see from the angle we're at.
Yeah.
But it looked like he was going in from what we could see.
Because if that first header is on target, I guess it will go down as Evan Nielsen's goal, but we've not seen a definitive angle on that one so far. But, I mean, Evan Nielsen had a little bit to do with it, but you couldn't say...
Yeah.
I mean, it's one he'll take for a 7th goal of the season, I'm sure.
Well, you take them all day long.
Yeah,
John.
but...
Well, Lerma looked like he was inside the post, and he reacts to it, so for sure, I think the header was going into that far corner.
1-0 Bournemouth, and a bit of luck. And now Palace will have to come out a little bit. Lerma plays the ball forward. He's played all those games. They've changed it to a Lerma own goal on PA. So maybe your first instinct, Danny, was right. That it wasn't on target. That he was on the post, but it was kind of angling across him, wasn't it?
Yeah, we'll have to see that one again.
Yeah.
But one of the things you want to do against Crystal Palace is score early, because they're so organised defensively. They make it really difficult for you. They offer that threat then on the counter-attack. If you can get an early goal, as you say, John, then they maybe have to play a little bit different, have to come out, open up a little bit more.
Here's Krupi on the edge of the area. You don't want to give him space there, and he fires one. He scuffed it, and he screams into the air because he's been so good from that position. Andoni Iraola this week said, if I want the ball to fall to anyone in and around the edge of the box on their right foot, it is this lad, Junior Krupi. And he's about 20 yards out, and he's just scuffed it, trying to wrap his foot round it. But he's got, for me, he's got a bit of sort of Jermaine Defoe about him. Reminds me of him, Danny.
Yeah, been really impressed with him. Palace giving it away.
They've given it away again. And here's Evan Nielsen into the penalty area. Left foot shot across the angle of post and bar. Does he get a touch on it, Dean Henderson? No, says the referee. Evan Nielsen thought he did. But they just keep giving the ball away time after time here. That was so poor from Kamada. And Evan Nielsen really should hit the target. He's just leaning back, going away from goal on his left foot.
Yeah, he's on a bit of a tight angle. He almost catches it too well. You almost maybe want to scuff them low when they kind of go into the corner. It's really poor from Palace. They haven't got going at all. Just looking at the goal again. Possibly it was going wide, and just looking at the goal line technology.
2 inches over the line,
yeah.
An inch.
Palace, they've not got going here at all. Really slow, lethargic, sluggish. 2 occasions they caught in possession. Really good pressing from Bournemouth, which you have to expect. You know, one of the best teams in terms of high intensity in the Premier League, and Palace have not been at the races yet.
Fans moan about VAR, don't they, and technology, and sometimes when you go and watch the Championship, League 1, League 2, it's really refreshing to go, do you know what? I know that's a goal, and you know that's not going to be reviewed. I know that's a penalty.
Yeah.
You can celebrate properly.
Yeah.
But goal line technology is the one for me.
That's the best one.
It's the best one.
No issues with that. Not so sure about VAR and some of the decisions that you see with obviously the on the field stuff, but the goal line technology stuff is brilliant.
There was one that affected Stevenage yesterday, and my team, Plymouth Argyle, where was that over the line? The on-field team said yes, but I've seen so many different angles, which it's hard to tell.
Yeah.
But if they had it all the way down, surely the technology could actually go down through the league's goal line technology.
Yeah, I don't see why not. Stevenage ended up getting in the playoffs, I think, didn't they, as well? So.
Yeah, they did. Yeah. It's 5 Sports Extra from the BBC, and we're on the BBC Sport website as Ryan goes down in a heap challenge, but no free kick, and it's flighted forward by Bournemouth, who've been, well, utterly dominant so far, Danny Gabardon.
Yeah, and I mentioned before the kickoff what kind of frame of mind mindset would Crystal Palace be in, and it doesn't look like it's the right one at the minute. They've not started well at all. You have to expect when you come to the vitality that Bournemouth are going to get after you. They're a high intensity team. You know what to expect, and it's not been a great start for Palace so far. Have not got going at all.
They've got possession here though with Kamada, who's moving forward through the gears, through the centre of the pitch, and then they are repelled. And forward come Bournemouth with Alex Scott, who is challenged. It's 1-0 Bournemouth. An own goal, we think, from Jefferson Lerma. We think that header was going wide, having watched a replay. And Oliver Glasner complaining about the forward ball not being good enough on the bench.
Yeah, not happy at all. Devaney there just giving the ball away, really careless ball, and he's actually on the touchline there. Oliver Glasner, he sees that pass go astray and he's going absolutely mad, and so mad he has to kind of go and sit down on the bench and calm down, I think. But I think Lerma, he just doesn't know where the goal is, does he? I think obviously the goal's behind him. He's not quite sure where it is. Just feels like he needs to react to that header coming towards his way, and just gets it totally wrong.
Bournemouth helping the ball back towards their own goalkeeper. They've handled the fact that their managers are going to leave in very different ways, these two clubs, Danny, haven't they? With very clear from Bournemouth, Andoni Iraola's going to leave, and here's his replacement, and good luck for the rest of the season. And then the Palace way, as here's Junior Krupi into the penalty area. You feel like every time Bournemouth get the ball in and around the edge of the box, they're going to score at the moment. Here's Lerma for Palace, and they might be able to break with Munoz down the right-hand side, trailing by a goal to nil. What do you think of the way they've handled it, both sides?
I think from a Bournemouth point of view, just sums them up really at the minute. They're a very well organised club, and their succession planning very, very good. They're almost a stepping stone club, and they kind of know that they have that kind of model in terms of the managers and the players as well, and they have that kind of succession plan with a new manager already announced. Crystal Palace slightly different. I do worry for both teams. I think both managers have done outstanding jobs for these football clubs. Do fear a little bit more for Crystal Palace, because what Oliver Glasner has done with his team in terms of how he's kind of set them up and how he's developed players, made them better. I'm not quite sure how they replace him, and maybe the hierarchy are not quite sure in a minute as well.
Yeah, Marco Rosat coming in at the end of the season for Bournemouth. And Palace in possession in the sunshine. Low forward ball, so good at snuffing that sort of thing out there. It was James Hill, who comes forward and wins the ball for Bournemouth, and then down under a challenge is Ryan, and now Tavernier on the left-hand side with Truffert on the overlap, decides to go inside. Midway inside the Palace half, it's with Scott. Switch of play, lovely ball. Jimenez got a chance to cross. 4 in the middle, free header Ryan. Should have done better there, Ryan. He's headed straight over the crossbar, and his head is in his hands.
Yeah, minimum should hit the target here. Great crossfield ball from Alex Scott, left to right. Jimenez out of his feet, whips it into a really dangerous area. And Ryan, there's a free header, probably 6-7 yards out. Minimum should be hitting the target there, probably scoring.
He knows it as well, doesn't he?
Yeah.
His reaction. What a terrific switch from Alex Scott, and Jimenez, super cross. And Crystal Palace at the moment defending look like they've had 5 changes, including some to their back line, don't they?
Yeah, they do. They're normally a lot more defensively solid than this, and the way they like to play with that kind of back 5, it can be quite difficult to get down the sides of them, but Bournemouth doing a good job.
Kamada plays the ball forward. Hill clears away. What a signing he's been, by the way. £1 million from Fleetwood. James Hill. He's had a terrific season alongside Senesi. Basically lost their entire defence apart from Senesi in the summer, and look at the season they've had. Bournemouth, and that's a mistake again, and Palace have given the ball away again, and that's cleared out of play for a corner, but a right mess. Riyadh comes across and saves the day, but the amount of times they've lost possession and Bournemouth have been in, Danny.
Yeah, under no real pressure as well. Simple passes under no pressure and just really sloppy. Just giving Bournemouth that added kind of confidence, incentive to keep pressing and going to win the ball, which they are doing. Just not got going here, Palace at all. Oliver Glasner's absolutely raging. Just sat back down on the bench again. He's chatting to his coaching staff. Paddy McCarthy's now up and probably been told to say something.
Corner for Bournemouth. Alex Scott takes some deep breaths. Stutter step. In comes the corner, and Ryan's there again. And it comes off either him and the defender, or just the defender. Difficult to see from this angle, but it's another Bournemouth corner.
Yeah, I think Riyadh just does enough there. Again, really dangerous delivery. More so into this far post area this time. And, well, if he doesn't get there, Riyadh, he's on full stretch there. If he doesn't get there, it's another free header. Really vulnerable, Palace, from set pieces, yeah. Well, it actually hits Riyadh's head and then goes off Ryan, but Bournemouth have got the corner here.
Right, so this corner maybe has gone the wrong way. Tavernier with it, swung high to the far post, headed up in the air by Palace. It's going to be another corner for Bournemouth. From that far side, they've already scored one goal from a corner from that side, from Alex Scott, who trots across again with his curtains and his Alice band, wearing the number 8. Several big clubs interested in him. Wears his socks lower than most. Tiny shin pads, both arms in the air. In front of the Palace fans. Whips it in, right-footed, flicks off a Palace head. They should well clear this through Devaney. The Northern Irishman keeps it in play and charges down the left flank in the shade, and then switches the play, but that should go through to the goalkeeper. Trufair intercepts for Bournemouth, who are back in possession midway inside their own half. Tavernier. I do enjoy watching Bournemouth play, the way they pass it and move.
Side. Really good side.
Left-footed ball forward from Senesi, trying to break the lines again, and out comes Dean Henderson. And he's cleared the ball, but he played it straight to Scott, who couldn't quite get it under control. Shoot, shouted the home crowd, because he was out of his goal, Henderson. But Palace have the ball back on the halfway line in the centre circle with the Japanese Kamada. He plays it to the left to Riyadh, and now Pino. 10 yards inside the Bournemouth half, chips it forward. Strand Larsen, cushion header, about as good as a build-up's got that for Palace so far in this game. But Bournemouth are back in possession with Ryan and Hill. Oh, and that's lovely skill. No. He's been absolutely skinned there, Devaney, and that was the oh no. And now Ryan down the right with a bit of space, runners ahead of him, and he's underhit the pass to Evan Nielsen. It was a good run, but a bit telegraphed from Ryan, and it's a throw into Crystal Palace by the corner flag. Pick the bones out of all that, Danny.
That is unacceptable from Kruby. Oh my, goodness me. Ball played into his feet, and he just stabs it around the corner. Kind of the ball goes to the right-hand side, round the defender. He spins to the left, gets it the other side.
Love that.
Unbelievable skill there.
Would you be hunting him down?
Yes.
Yeah, I knew you were going to say that.
Or I'd be staying well away from him, one or the other.
Yeah.
He's obviously showing there, if you get too tight, then he's capable of brilliant skill like that.
19 years of age, Junior Krupi, 11 goals in the Premier League. Apparently only 6 players have scored 11 or more Premier League goals. Teenagers in a season. Rooney, Michael Owen, Robbie Fowler. Answers on a postcard for the others as the ball's played towards Krupi Jr. again. It's all the way through to Dean Henderson.
He's kind of playing a little bit deep now as well, isn't he, with the kind of Ivan Nielsen. He has played almost as a lone striker as well a bit earlier in the season, playing in that kind of number 10 position, and it's been an outstanding kind of breakthrough season for him. Only his first season, but he's hit the ground running, and you'd have to think again in the summer been one or two big clubs kind of looking at him and thinking, well, it's not too early in development-wise to kind of take him.
Foul on Evan Nielsen from Lacroix, who looks a bit dejected. Evan Nielsen still down. Free kick is about 15 yards inside the Palace half, centre field. Genuinely don't know who else that'll be. I only know that I read it, that there was 6 who scored 11 or more teenagers in the Premier League. So Rooney, Owen, Fowler will definitely be 3 of them, won't they?
That's a very good question.
Yeah.
I have to think about this one.
Creepy Junior, so 2 others. Have a think. At John Akers 48 on X, if you're on there, and drop me a message. Bournemouth short free kick, cross from the left, deep! Oh, and almost to Ryan at the far post arriving. Henderson let it go, and Ryan almost managed to put it back into play, but it's out for a goal kick to Palace, and it's 1-0 Bournemouth, and we've had 25 minutes of the game on 5 Sports Extra 2.
Again, dangerous delivery into that far post area. Henderson at full stretch, isn't able to get there. And Ryan under a little bit of pressure. Right on the byline, not quite able to kind of hook the ball back into a dangerous area.
Dean Henderson all in a luminous green, aims his kick downfield. Of course, Palace beating Shakhtar Donetsk. That's a free kick, I think, for Palace, a rare one, and there are ironic cheers from the Crystal Palace fans. Several of them shirtless in the away end, most of them standing, and a good noise being made by the group in the corner up there. And a free kick in a position to be able to swing it in from the right-hand side. It's about 10 to 15 yards inside the Bournemouth half, right-hand side. And they've sent the centre-backs forward. In fact, everyone apart from Dean Henderson in the Bournemouth half for this free kick. From the right, 1-0 Bournemouth lead. Pino's going to take it. Drifted in towards the far post. It's not good delivery. And Scott just brings it down calmly. And then rolls it back to James Hill, who swings a high ball forward. Munoz wins the header for Crystal Palace. That's a lovely touch. And forward they come again. And he's in here on the far side. It's Tavernier into the penalty area on his left foot. And a good save from Dean Henderson with his feet. It was a good strike. Didn't maybe catch it all. But Bournemouth coming forward and putting a cross into the box again. And that should just dribble through to Riyadh. But that's a good opportunity for Tavernier. He's got some left foot as well, but he didn't quite catch it, Danny.
Yeah, I think just on the angle, Dean Henderson knows he has to kind of fire the ball across him, so he's almost kind of waiting for that type of strike. He catches the strike really well. Henderson just sticking out that left boot. Really good save, but again, how easy was that for Bournemouth? They win the ball back and one pass just dissects that kind of Palace backline, and Tavernier, who's unmarked on that far side, he gets in on goal. I'm just looking at the Palace players there and looking how they're trying to get back in their recovery runs, and looks a little bit half-eyed or a little bit lethargic at the minute.
Yeah, just not quite enough in the corner. Hit it almost straight at Henderson's silhouette, and he just had to kind of hit it at his left foot, really. He just had to keep his left foot strong and cleared it away. So a bit of a let-off for Palace there, really. And it's a throw-in for Bournemouth in the right-back position, and James Hill claps his hands at the supporters and picks a white ball with the green Premier League logos on it off one of the cones down there, and gets a little ripple of applause from the supporters, and he'll take this long throw-in. In it comes, near post, and Henderson comes out and spills it, and then a player goes down, wants a penalty. Evan Nielsen, and penalty's given. Senesi it was who went down. Henderson, in trying to get the ball back after he spilled it, might well have grabbed hold of him, and then Henderson's pushing Senesi as he's on the ground, and now there's a small melee, and Robert Jones is in there trying to pull them apart. Players pushing and shoving. He feels that Senesi's bought the penalty. The referee maybe had a little message from his assistant in his ear and gave it after a little delay. Danny Gabardon.
Yeah, he wasn't quite sure, but I think it's two things with Dean Henderson. One is frustrated because he drops the ball and kind of creates that chance. And as you say, John, secondly, I think he thinks that Senesi's kind of bought that penalty.
My initial feeling is that it's not enough. Oh, hang on. It's his knee on his ankle, is it?
Yeah, but does he mean that? I'm not sure. Comes to collect the ball, drops the ball kind of ricochets off Canvo, and he comes from behind him, Senesi, a little bit. I'm not even sure he knows he's there. Nah, not for me, that, John.
It's gone down very easily. There must be some sort of contact for him to go down, surely.
Yeah, I think I'm looking at that there, and it looks like Senesi almost manufactures the contact a bit himself. As I say,
Slows down.
Yeah, I think he almost runs into Henderson. I don't think Henderson knows he's there because he comes from behind him, and as that ball kind of drops, he's almost on his knees there.
Dean Henderson saying, go and have a look at it.
Yeah,
go and have a look at it.
Senesi almost runs into him, almost tries to manufacture the contact a little bit there for me.
Surprised Henderson didn't get booked for pushing him while he was on the ground. Here's the slow-mo. Well, Henderson goes to pick the ball up, and Senesi knows he's there, and Senesi leaves his left leg there to hit Henderson's knee, is my reading of it. What do you think?
Yeah, I tend to be in agreement with you. I don't think that's a penalty.
But is it enough to overturn it?
Well, there's definite contact, but I think Senesi kind of manufactures it himself. As I said, I don't think Henderson knows he's there. As the ball kind of drops, he's just kind of looking at the ball, and he's almost on his knees. He's on his two knees there, Henderson, and I don't think he actually tries to trip him or anything like that. But
penalty given. Penalty's given. So Dean Henderson, I think quite rightly, can feel a little aggrieved. I think he's been a bit unlucky there, Dean Henderson. But Senesi had the awareness to just let the contact happen and then goes down, and the on-field decision is upheld, and it's going to be Junior Krupi with the penalty. Stands with his yellow boots, hands on hips, edge of the penalty area, angled run. In he comes, stutter, right-footed, scores. 12 for the season for the 19-year-old. And Dean Henderson is furious as he kicks the ball away. It's 2-0 Bournemouth. Could they be heading for Europe? Bournemouth 2, Crystal Palace 0.
Well, I've got sympathy for Dean Henderson, so I'm not sure it's a penalty, but I've got no sympathy for Crystal Palace because they have been really, really poor, and Bournemouth are just putting them to the sword, taking full advantage. Confident penalty from the youngster Krupi, and he just does Henderson with a little stutter in his run-up, and Henderson kind of moves quickly to his left, and he just whips it to the keeper's right. Brilliantly taken. And you have to say Bournemouth are full value for this, by far the better of the two teams.
It's such a good penalty, because anyone who's ever played football knows that if you run up at an angle 45 degrees to the ball and you're looking at the right-hand corner of the goal as you look at it, and you strike it with your side foot. Thierry Henry used to do it a lot. Strike it with your side foot, but close your foot on it as you hit it. The keeper just thinks you're going to go to his left, and you go the other way. It's a really good penalty, hard to do.
Yeah, a difficult one for a goalkeeper, because as you say, as soon as you kind of open at that right foot, you kind of think as a goalkeeper that's going to go to the left, but just a little stutter in the run-up as well. It just made Henderson go early, and then he knows which side to kind of put the ball, and he just kind of, as you say, closes his right foot on it, whips it back across the keeper. Brilliantly done.
So that'll be an assist, fantasy football assist for Senesi. So that's good news for me. And if you own Junior Krupi, obviously, the BBC Sport Fantasy Football podcast is available right now. Alistair Bruce Ball, Statman Dave and Chris Sutton. If you want to know who to put in as some differentials before the end of the season, you want to keep on top of it, can Chris finish above Dave and Ali for the first time? It would be great if Chris could do that, got to say. Bournemouth in possession with the ball over the top. Ryan looks offside and he's not going to get hold of it anyway, and it's through to Dean Henderson. Yeah, do you re-referee those when the decision gets made on field, and he's right on top of it, Robert Jones? He's obviously seen the contact. It looks completely different in slow motion. Do you re-referee that decision? Well,
that's kind of the rule, really, isn't it? That you probably shouldn't overturn that. Is it kind of clear and obvious mistake? Probably wasn't. So that's kind of what the rule should be. I think it was Mikel Arteta who was kind of moaning about a penalty shout that was kind of changed in Europe in the Champions League. So it's probably how it should be officiated. But I don't think Henderson meant that. Yes, there is contact. And Senesi sees the ball and he's kind of running forward, and that kind of right leg just moves out slightly to the right. He's actually on both knees here, Henderson, and Just makes contact with Senesi there.
Jimenez cross from the right is overhit, and he smiles at us, grins with his right knee, heavily strapped actually there, Jimenez. That's definitely one of those, just see if you can get to the end of the season jobs, isn't it? Look at the strapping on his right knee. Just give us what you can till the end of the season. That's one of them, isn't it?
Yeah.
I guess you've heard that a few times in your career.
I certainly have, but I think for him personally as well, with where Bournemouth are and what they're kind of fighting for, you don't want to miss any games either as a player. So, yeah, strap it up, get on with it.
There'll be a lot, actually, footballers carrying little things, won't there, this time of the season, Danny, as Bournemouth are in possession. Ryan on the halfway line. Maybe fewer of the 19-year-olds, but certainly some of those approaching 30. As forward come Senesi with a ball in behind again. Tell you what, every ball Senesi plays from the back looks like it could break the line. And he's been like that all season. 161 passes. He really has got brilliant distribution, the Argentine.
Yeah, really positive, isn't he? You know, you see a lot of centre-backs where they just keep it short and they play with a goalkeeper or they stick it into midfield a lot. But, you know, if he has that time and space to get his head up, then he's looking past the midfielders at times. He's looking for the runs of the centre-forwards, which, you know, players like Evan Nielsen and Krupi will really appreciate.
2-0 Bournemouth. Palace in possession with Lerma, who scored the own goal for the first goal. It's a bizarre one. He will not want to see that again on Match of the Day 2 tonight. Oh, they've almost got caught again through Riyad. Ryan is hassling Lacroix at the moment. They press so well, Bournemouth, and they've really struggled to get out. And they go long in the end, and it's a good ball from Kamada and finds Strand Larsen on the left, and across comes Hill and says, that's my ball. And the referee says, no, it isn't. And it's a throw into Palace, level with the Bournemouth 18-yard box on the left-hand side. Yeah. And Lerma will come across, take a long throw. He's a good servant for Bournemouth in the centre of midfield. And he dries the ball on his shirt. And they have conceded to long throws this season, Bournemouth. Then it comes to the near post, headed away. Palace have won the ball back, hacked away by Ryan, all the way to Henderson, who's 15 yards inside his own half and stands on the ball. Now he's got some help from Lacroix. Lip of the centre circle for Palace. They've had very little controlled possession in the game so far, Crystal Palace. In fact, to tell you what the possession stats are, they're actually 51-49 according to this.
It doesn't feel like that. It really doesn't. Palace might be better served just going back to front a little bit more for 5 minutes. So they've tried to play through Bournemouth and have been really, really bad at it.
And they went direct there and they've lost the ball again, but won it back with Strand Larsen. Then Tavernier wins it back for Bournemouth. And now he releases Truffert down the left, and he's got some space ahead of him, and he's got players up with him. Truffert comes inside and is pulled back, and that will be a booking and a free kick for Bournemouth. And that's just frustration, I think. Yeah, Lacroix goes into the book. I mean, he looks, if ever you've seen a player look disgruntled and annoyed with life on a football pitch, that's Lacroix at the moment.
Well, he's in an area that he doesn't want to be. You know, he's the middle of that back three, but that ball kind of gets played in the channel, and he's the one who's having to go out there in a position you don't really want to be. Truffert just cuts back inside and he hauls him down, and he's had a brilliant season. Lacroix, obviously losing Mark Gurry was a big blow, but the way he's kind of stepped up and marshalled that back line, he's been brilliant. But he's really struggling today. Not just him though, the whole team.
Playing with Camvo and Riyad in a 3 today, Lacroix, with Munoz and Devaney, the wing-backs, Lerma and Kamada holding, then Brennan Johnson, Pino and Strand Larsen up the top. Free kick on the corner of the penalty area for Bournemouth. Scott's going to take this, I think. Right-footed, whips it in. Good save from Henderson. Watched it well. It was definitely under the crossbar, and he punches it out for a corner.
Yeah, well, after dropping that long throw, I don't think he wanted to take any chances, Dean Henderson. One for the cameras a little bit. He's kind of standing on that far post area of the goal where Scott's looking to whip that ball into. So he's in the right position, takes no chances, trying to collect that, just palms it away for the corner.
So another corner for Bournemouth. This will be their 7th corner, I believe. Bournemouth. Tavernier puts both arms in the air and he's going to swing it in left-footed to the far post. And it comes, good-looking delivery, headed away by Palace. Trufair brings the ball down with like a little keep-me-up, and I'm not sure what that is. He hooks it back towards goal, and it's into the arms of Dean Henderson. No shots so far for Palace, not a single shot, and only 3 touches in the Bournemouth penalty area. And on the flip side, 8 shots for Bournemouth, 3 shots on target and 15 touches in the opposition box.
Yeah, forget the penalty area. They've hardly been in their half. Hardly been in Bournemouth's half. The build-up has been that poor. They've not been able to string any pass together to work the team up the pitch. So, you have that option with Strand Larsen where you can kind of go back to front. And as I said, maybe for 5 minutes, just try that. Get it into him. Get runners off him.
5 minutes to half-time plus added time with Palace in possession, but they go all the way back to Dean Henderson, and he's going to go short to the right to Lacroix, who plays the ball into the feet of Lerma. Lip of the centre circle inside his own half, and then Riyad has to go a little bit wide to collect the pass, and they might think about going long. Palace in possession with Kamada on the left-hand side, halfway line. Bournemouth staying in their shape behind the ball, getting ready to trigger when they win the ball back, and they have. Jimenez and now Krupi Jr., Evan Nielsen ahead, and Alex Scott, and now they break quickly, and Tavernier, ball's just behind him, but he has got possession back to goal midway inside the Palace half, but he'll have to reset, and goes back to Senesi and Scott. And as soon as the ball's gone from front to back into feet, they've just snapped in and won the ball back, Bournemouth. And Ryan goes all the way back to Hill, and now Senesi into the Palace half, looking for a forward ball. Trufair on the left, midway inside the Palace half, left touchline. Senesi again, Bournemouth leading by 2-0. 5 Sports Extra 2 in the BBC Sport website, and that's given away by Bournemouth, and then given away by Devaney. And now Jimenez down the right, and he's got Ryan on the overlap. Jimenez puts in a little dinked cross into the penalty area, headed away, and Kamada completes the clearance, and that looks so worrying for Palace. I think they've been lucky there. If I was Jimenez, I'd have played in Ryan on the overlap there instead of dinking it into the penalty area. I think he missed his chance to do it.
Yeah, quite possibly. Good delivery into the box, though. Credit to Munoz. He's touched tight. It's a really important defensive header. But again, Palace turning the ball over. I think Devaney gets nutmegged there by Jimenez, and he's not quite sure what to do in the end. He just kind of flips the ball into that far post area. Munoz with really good defending on that far post.
Bournemouth unbeaten in 5 against Palace. They've won 2 and drawn 3. Before that, they'd lost 5 in a row against Palace. As Evan Nielsen picks it up on the far side, comes off the legs of the defender and out for a throw-in in front of the Palace fans on the far side for Bournemouth. It's level with a penalty spot over there, and a chance for another long throw. So James Hill trots forward in no rush. A couple of pigeons fly across the pitch. And this is just so easy for Bournemouth at the moment. Games can turn and switch, and I'll ask Danny about what does Oliver Glasner do. He's got firepower on the bench, but he wanted to rest players because of the Donetsk game, as Ryan aims a little header from the throw-in goalwards, but it's looped over the bar, and it's a goal kick for Palace.
Yeah, well, he does have those options from the bench, and I think he's going to have to maybe use 1 or 2 of them reluctantly, Oliver Glasner. His team are not at it, and you're looking at your squad players, and sometimes as a manager you get those players kind of come knocking on your door because they're not playing, moaning, complaining. Then you make 5 changes a day and put some of those squad players in, and you're looking for that kind of reactions. You're looking for those players to kind of step up and show what they're about, and haven't really seen that, have we? Been really, really poor, Palace, in possession and out of possession, too easy to play against, and when they've had the ball, really careless in possession.
When you've got the chance of a European final, and you're 13th in the Premier League, and you're not challenging for Europe, you're not going to go down. As Kamada picks up possession, I'll pick up on that with you in just a second, Danny, as the ball switched to the left-hand side towards Devaney, and Jimenez lets it run, and then he'll run with it. Devaney challenges, and it's a throw-in for Palace. He's done really well there. Here's Devaney on the left-hand side. How difficult is it to motivate yourself when you have got that one huge game midweek coming up, and this is not irrelevant, but kind of irrelevant in terms of the league?
I don't think it's difficult. Yes, I think you can maybe have one eye on the next game, and that can happen, but I think Oliver Glasner as a manager, he's so demanding. I just don't think he'd let his players do that.
Header clear from the long throw. He's got a chance to put it back in here as Lerma, but he's gone short to Pino. What can he develop here? Puts in a deep cross. It's a good one, and that's good from Petrovic, the big Serbian goalkeeper. 26-year-old plucks it out of the sky in lime green and rolls it out, and this spells danger for Palace as Tavernier runs deep into their half, but checks and goes back, has a look at the three runners ahead of him, Evan Nilsson, Ryan and Krupi Jr., but decides to go back to Tyler Adams.
I think we might have done a game together last season when Crystal Palace played Tottenham at the Tottenham Hotspur Stadium, and I think at that time Palace, I think, had a semi-final, maybe the chance to...
Ball chip forward towards Krupi Jr. and Ryan strong, but is robbed of the ball by Deveni, who gives it away to Jimenez. Tyler Adams, Jimenez again, runner ahead of him. Crosses low, cleared away by Palace and picked up by Strand Larsen. Jimenez challenges, throw in for Palace. How many minutes do we have, Danny?
There's too many, I think, for Crystal Palace. Too many. 4
minutes of added time.
Yeah,
what were you saying about Spurs?
Yeah, well, I think there was two. I think Crystal Palace had a semi-final of an FA Cup coming up after that game, and I think Tottenham had a European game as well. So it was important games for both teams. I think Ange Postecoglou changed his whole team. Crystal Palace went really strong. I think they won the game. I think it was 2-0 in the end, and I think we were both thinking before the game, will Palace make changes? They didn't. They went really strong, and their attitude was brilliant.
Eza scored both.
Yeah, Eza scored, yes. So really surprised by this Palace performance, just in terms of Oliver Glasner and how he is, and he's so demanding from his players and doesn't allow that kind of drop off in mentality. But we have seen that this first half. They've not been good at all.
Here's Jimenez. 3 of the 4 added minutes to go in the first half. Bournemouth leading 2-0. 5 Sports Extra. Ryan, brilliant. Into the penalty area, and Scott has a scuffed effort. Cleared away. Corner for Bournemouth. Yeah. Gosh, they are unpicking them down the outside.
So easy.
Yeah.
Feeling for Deveni at the minute, playing in that kind of left wing-back position. Gets skinned in a 1v1 by Ryan. So easy, just knocks it, gets the other side. Dangerous ball across the 6-yard box. Lacroix sticks that left leg out. Right place, right time.
Corner then for Bournemouth. It's going to be a left-footed in-swinger again from Tavernier. In it comes, high to the far post. Bournemouth heads go up, it goes over them, and it's out for a goal kick to Crystal Palace, and we've only got about a minute and a half left of the 4 added minutes at the end of the first half. 2-0. I do wonder what you do with that European game in the week. Do you make changes at half-time if you're Oliver Glasner? Do you bring on Mateta and Sarr and Wharton, knowing that you've got that huge game?
It's a difficult one.
Or do you just
say, look, you've got us into this mess, you get us out of it?
Yeah. Long ball forward, which, as Danny mentioned a couple of times, could be the way Palace could go from here. But that's it's been called for a free kick. Maybe he did get a little piece of him, actually, there, Jimenez. He's been so good at that, anticipating the forward ball and then winning it first time. Just watching that again, it probably is a little bit clumsy this time. And it is a free kick for Palace, and it's midway inside the Bournemouth half on the left-hand side.
Yeah, they've just played with more intensity, more aggression, more energy. Bournemouth. Palace have tried to play almost in third gear. It's been a real problem for them. Just looking at Paddy McCarthy, not happy with something here. Probably wanting someone in a different kind of position here for this set piece that's about to go in.
Deveni takes it short across to Munoz, and they're switching the play out to Pino, and then his cross is blocked. I don't understand that free kick at all. I don't understand what they were trying to do. Deveni's got it back. He's got a chance to put it into the box, and now he does. Truffert helps it up in the air. A bit messy, that. Senesi clears. Pino nods up in the air. Palace with a ball forward towards Lerma on the right. By the corner flag, Truffert picks it up for Bournemouth. Hacked away by Senesi. Kamada picks up the ball. We've had the 4 minutes. Referee Robert Jones looks at his watch and blows the whistle. And that's half-time. And that free kick at the end rather sums up Crystal Palace. They have looked completely clueless out there with the 5 changes. Lacroix is just down, taking a knee at the moment, looking at the ground and probably just contemplating what's gone on in that first half, as Bournemouth could, perhaps should have had more. They've not had a shot in the entire half, no efforts at goal for Palace. Bournemouth leading 2-0. Danny Gabardon.
Yeah, Bournemouth full value. And look, when you come to the Vitality, when you play against the Bournemouth team, there's certain things that you have to do to match them. One of them is kind of attitude, energy, application, intensity. You know you're going to come up against that. And Crystal Palace, off the back of midweek, where they were very good, outstanding result against Shakhtar in Europe, not come with the right kind of mindset, the right kind of focus required here. And it's not a quality thing or anything like that. It's all about the mindset and the attitude. And they didn't start the game right, lethargic, allowed Bournemouth to get into their stride. And have given away two really, really poor goals as well. So maybe a similar kind of scoreline to what we saw at Sellers Pass. It's going a similar kind of way, but Palace were able to kind of get back into that one, but they've got a mountain of work to do. And Oliver Glasner at half-time is going to have a few choice words with certain players, I think, and we'll just have to see what Palace are able to do second half. Maybe one or two of those players that are sitting on the bench, maybe looking forward to next week, might have to come on and try and salvage and get a result here. But it's been very, very one-sided. Bournemouth have been full value. They've been on top. They look like they're going to score every time that they go forward, and Palace just haven't had an answer up until now. So, a lot of work for Oliver Glasner to do at half-time with some of those players, because some of the performances have been substandard.
Danny Gabardon alongside me here at the Vitality Stadium, where we will bring you live second half commentary on the way here on 5 Sports Extra 2 and the BBC Sports website. We will cross to the coverage on 5 Live right now, and I'll see you in the second half.
Henderson then brought down Senesi, having dropped a catch to concede a pretty soft penalty, I think it's fair to say. Junior Krupi getting his 12th of the season, well dispatched into the bottom corner. Such a distance from the excellent Palace performance at Shakhtar on Thursday. They've been nothing short of appalling. It's Bournemouth 2, Crystal Palace 0.
Henry, thank you very much. Sports Extra 2 for the commentary. There's been a goal in that National League playoff semi-final and a red card. So Carlisle are down to 10 men and Boreham Wood have just taken the lead. So Carlisle 1, Boreham Wood 2. We're in extra time. 108 minutes have been played. Still Leicester 0, Chelsea 1 in the Women's Super League. We'll be back at Old Trafford shortly, just over 35 minutes time. Full commentary in the Premier League of Manchester United versus Liverpool. Before we do that, let's talk a bit of Arsenal, who went 6 points clear at the top with a 3-0 win over Fulham on Saturday. Manchester City play tomorrow night at Everton. They've got 2 games in hand. Bukayo Saka started for Arsenal, first time since the League Cup final. Set up Victor Gyökeres for the first goal, scored the second himself. The thing with Saka, Nedum, is sometimes the obvious question is the only question, which is, when he is fit and available, Arsenal look like themselves again, don't they?
Yeah, absolutely. And when he's playing well, like, you remember it from a wider perspective. Like, he was their captain as well, and he looked like he played like it every single bit yesterday. As he's walking out, he understands that. He thought about all the different years he's been there for, aspiring to be like a Premier League winner, cup winner, this type of thing. And I thought his performance was excellent. And in some ways, it kind of set the tone for the way that Arsenal played. And like, I watched live the first half, then I've had to watch the second half through like highlights. But the way that Arsenal started that game is the way Arsenal starting games, it felt like early in the season, and why they looked so comfortably like top of the league. Because Fulham, everyone's thinking, Fulham, they could cause an upset. Arsenal, they've played midweek. Fulham were not allowed to start playing football until the game was completely out of sight. The way that Arsenal were sort of attacking, the way they were defending, there wasn't a Fulham player anywhere on the pitch that wasn't playing under pressure. You've got Jimenez up top. He's being just like manhandled by the 2 centre-halves. The press against people like Bassey and Robinson, so many people who are good on the ball if you give them time. No time was afforded. And then when you win the ball back in transition, here's the ball with Bukayo Saka out wide, and whichever defender you want to look at is now on an island playing against somebody that can go inside, outside, link the play up. And, as you saw with that first goal, obviously the defending player in that moment was Raul Jimenez, who probably didn't appreciate being left on an island with Saka. But the fact is, it was a great ball into the box with his alleged weaker foot, and that set the tone. I think Saka being back is key, because Madueke, I think, has been good and offers something sort of different. But the best version of Arsenal probably exists with Bukayo Saka, their captain, in this particular occasion, high and wide on that right-hand side. And it's just a shame for him he's not had that much good health. But if he can find it between now and, the summer, it might be success not just for Arsenal but for England as well.
Here's one for you, Jules, right? You were just talking about Morgan Rogers and needing a cohesive unit to succeed so that he can succeed. With Victor Gyökeres, who's now got 20 goals for the season, what is it about Bukayo Saka, do you think, that then gets the best out of him? Is it as simple as great wide player is going to get the balls in the box? Is it more nuanced than that?
Yeah, I think there's a lot. I think there's a lot of things. I think there's the cross that Nedum just explained. That was perfect. I think if you look at the Bukayo Saka goal himself, set up by Gyökeres, the fact that Bukayo asked the ball a lot to his feet, that can leave space behind his defender. The defender knows the ball that Saka is never going to run in behind, because that's not what he does. He gets the ball to feet and then he's facing you one-on-one by the touchline. So that leaves that space in behind for Gyökeres to make that run. And then once that pass from Eze has been given, Gyökeres gets the ball, then Saka can make that run. I think that helps him too. He helps Ben White. I think he helps Eze yesterday, maybe more than an Odegaard, but before that it was Odegaard. And I think this is what Bukayo Saka does to you, and I think people are always very harsh on him. I don't think people respect him enough and what he does.
Saka?
Yeah, I agree. I think he's completely... And this season has been difficult because of the injuries, and last season as well. But he's not far from... if you look at his stats in, for example, the Champions League, in terms of non-penalty goals and assists per 90 minutes, for example, he's at the level of Michael Olise. And we talk a lot about Michael Olise being the greatest left-footed right winger in the world right now, him and Lamine probably. Bukayo Saka is not far from that. Bukayo Saka is world-class. And I think sometimes it feels like people... Bukayo Saka is not world-class.
No, it's not. It's not that. It's not that, because that's the discussion that people have. But you're talking about, say, the likes of Olise and others. But like in the last 2 years, Olise has basically been available for every game. So I think that's part of the consideration that comes into it. Because if you are, say, very, very good in flashes, then you do have huge potential. But if you're robust and consistent and do it every year, because like for Saka, I'm on your side. I think he's a brilliant player. But the case that people can make about him, like they can look at, say, some of those goals and assists and stuff across the last few years and see that maybe since he had his significant hamstring injury, like he's not, I think it was last year or possibly the year before. Do you think he's been the same?
No, but Michael Olise has played for a top club for 2 years. Bukayo Saka made his debut for a top club in 2018. I'm not sure.
We're talking about safe, but you mentioned Olise because we're referencing Olise in terms of like the last couple of years since he's been there, not since he's been at Palace, though. No.
True, but once Olise plays 60 games a season for 6 years in a row, like Bukayo Saka has done with Arsenal, my point was more about the fact that I'm not sure we can compare Olise and Saka in terms of fitness or solidity physically, when one is just discovering now what it is to play for a club like Bayern Munich, where you play every 3 days, because he didn't know that before at Reading and at Crystal Palace. So this is happening now for Michael Olise. He's going to play 60, 65 games. He was not a French international until last season, for example. When Bukayo Saka has played for England for many, many years, he's had those seasons with loads of games, and that, and I think it's a bit unfair to just look at Saka and say, well, yeah, but he's injured now a lot, so we can't really compare with the others in this position who are the best in the world.
Is that the reason he slipped? He might, because you were talking about him being underappreciated. Is possibly, if that is true, is part of the reason for that, because unfortunately he's had so many times out, he almost slips out of the conversation because you don't see him as much?
Yeah. Yeah, but yes, sure. But also I think he's getting a bit more injury prone now, because I think he's played so much from such a young age at that kind of level with that kind of intensity, and him being already not far from his debut at Arsenal, a key player from day one. Maybe not from day one, but from day two. Very important, where a lot of the team relied on him, and he had that kind of pressure from such a young age that I think there's a point where you've played so much with that kind of loads, mentally with the pressure, physically with being kicked by defenders all the time, etc., that maybe your body at some point says, hey, I just need a bit of a rest now. And I think this is what, unfortunately for Bukayo and for Arsenal, he's been experiencing a little bit. But for me, he's just a world-class winger, and there are not many like him in the world right now.
So who else is in his bracket then? Because I want you to like definitively make the case about world class, because sometimes when we talk world class, we'll talk about, say, statistics. And Saka in the last 2 seasons hasn't, for example, scored 10 goals in the league season. But like, you're making the case that he's like world class according to, say, lots of stuff which is contextualized from the years that he started, the position that he's been in, the growth that he's had, and so on. But what to you makes him world class now, like objectively?
So I think this is the stat that I wrote down, okay? Bukayo Saka is on 0.9 goal and assist per 90 minutes in the Champions League. In the 3 seasons he played in the Champions League for Arsenal, this is his stats, right? So per 90 minutes, he's on almost a goal a goal plus an assist per game, right? So goals involvement, 0.9 goals involvement per 90 minutes, right? This is world class. Mikel Olise is on 0.91, I think, or 0.92. So in terms of goals and assists per 90 minutes in the Champions League, it's 3 seasons for Saka, it's 2 seasons for Olise. They are the same level in terms of production and what you do for your team.
So why are you not measuring it according to the league, though? Why are you doing it according to the Champions League?
Because the stats that I looked at, because I was preparing for the Champions League week this week, and I looked at, because Bukayo Saka was coming back, and I thought he would come on in that game against Atletico, which he did.
Listen, I don't disagree with you, because I think he's an incredible player, and like him starting for Arsenal, for me, is the best version of Arsenal. Like, I know Madueke and others can do the job really, really well with their own spin, but I think there are people who make the argument about him not being world class relative to the domestic stuff, not the stuff in Europe itself. I think that's something that like is important, because Saka's influence for Arsenal is huge, but his influence, relatively speaking, in terms of the Premier League has waned since he was in double figures, say 2-3 years ago, consistently. Because even like Michael Olise in 23-24, he played half the season, played 19 games, and he got 10 goals and 6 assists for Crystal Palace. But we wouldn't have said at that point that Michael Olise is world class. But those numbers themselves in that season, I think, were better than Saka's were that year as well. Do you get where I'm coming from?
Yeah, sure.
The problem with world class, of course, is it means one thing subjective to somebody. You know, like I would say, Julien Laurent Nadev are world class pundits. Would everyone agree? I'd like to think so. There's been a goal in the Women's Super League at Leicester. Sahel.
Yeah, second for Chelsea. Leicester 0. Chelsea 2, Lauren James with the second goal. She picked it up 25 yards away, dinked infield, just left to centre, glided it right-footed past the Leicester goalkeeper, Katie Keane. So it's Leicester 0, Chelsea 2.
Sean Murphy looks like he could be about to get on the board in the World Snooker Championship final, Jamie Broughton. Come in, Jamie.
The arrears to 3-1.
Sorry, Jamie, go again. We just lost you for a second there.
Oh, sorry.
That's right.
I was about to agree with you, Steve, and say yes, Sean Murphy's on a breaker, but 78. He's about to reduce the arrears to 3-1. Hasn't really settled in the first part of this match. This is the first time he's really got going. Will Wizzy won the opening 3 frames. It breaks of 51 and 61, the highlight. But Murphy will certainly feel a lot better at the mid-session interval now he's taken that frame. They're walking off for a quick cup of tea, no doubt. 18 is the target when they resume.
Thank you, Jamie. So that's on BBC One. Just to let you know, Kickoff has been delayed in that Champions Cup semi-final between Bordeaux and Bath, but you can join the coverage if you want to right now on 5 Sports Extra, and then the commentary with Paul Grayson and Chris Jones will follow. We've got just under half an hour until kickoff in a really big Premier League game, always is, Manchester United, Liverpool at Old Trafford. So we'll be back there for more build-up after the news with Carl Hartley.
The voice of the UK.
This is BBC Radio 5 Live.
Thanks, Steve. 2 people have died in an explosion at a house in Bristol. Officers say they don't believe the blast this morning is terror-related. Residents living nearby have been asked to temporarily leave their homes. A teenager has died after being hit by a tree. Staffordshire police say paramedics were called to Stafford last night at around 6:30, with the boy being pronounced dead an hour later. 2 women thought to be from Sudan died this morning while attempting to cross the Channel in a small boat. Around 80 other migrants were rescued after their dinghy ran aground in northern France. And the US military says 2 service personnel have gone missing during a training exercise in Morocco. A search and rescue operation is now underway in the southwest of the country.
5 Live Sports.
So here's the first ball of this series. All the cricket you love lives on BBC Sounds.
Smash straight back down the ground, this girl.
Hear ball-by-ball coverage of the biggest competitions on the domestic and international circuits.
It's a 4th wicket and it's the huge one.
Settle down, Toffee. Sorry, mate. Cricket on 5 Live Sport.
Oh, I'm living every ball of this.
Listen on BBC Sounds.
Welcome back to the Vitality Stadium, where we have got changes for Crystal Palace, as you would imagine. So, Kamada's going off. Adam Wharton is coming on. In fact, there are 3 changes. These were all spotted by Danny Gabidon in the tunnel. Ismaila Sarr is on, and Pino goes off, and Munoz comes off, and Tyrick Mitchell comes on. 3 changes at half-time. That is our answer to will the manager react and make changes. Danny Gabidon alongside me here at the Vitality.
Yeah, I think he had to, didn't he? It was that bad from Crystal Palace in the first half, and maybe you just look at those players that are on the bench, and that first half just shows the importance of them to this team. It was very kind of disjointed. Oliver Glasgow making 5 changes start of this game, and it looked very disjointed, very kind of lacklustre. Players maybe not understanding the system, and no surprises to see those changes, and probably a few choice words at half-time. I think you could have taken anyone off in that first half. It was that bad, but from a Bournemouth perspective, very, very good. Totally dominated in that first half.
We're underway for the second half. No changes for Bournemouth. As you can understand, they are the team with everything to play for, really. Europe to play for. Palace already looking better. Wharton, the cross into the box. A slip. And here's Tyrick Mitchell in the penalty area. Back to Strand Larsen. First shot of the game for Palace. It's tame, left-footed from Strand Larsen. Straight at Petrovic. He didn't catch it, but that is already a reaction.
So much better already. Adam Wharton on the ball on this right-hand side. Ball into the box. A little slip from Hill. Tyrick Mitchell advanced on that left-hand side. Just plays the ball back to Larsen. Little cut back and just not enough purchase on the strike. But it's a start for Crystal Palace.
Free kick for Bournemouth in the sunshine. 10 yards inside their own half, left-hand side. Alex Scott rolls it back to Senesi, and already the press looks better from Palace as well, as the ball's with Jimenez on the right, who was impressed with in the first half. Little ball around the corner for Ryan. Right-hand touchline. Can he keep it in? He can. He's on the run, Ryan, the Brazilian. Little step over. Comes into the penalty area. Rolls it back for Scott. Truefair coming now. Played behind him. 25 yards from goal. Little drag back. Out to Tavernier on the left. Now Senesi. Forward ball to the left to Tavernier. Now Truefair into the penalty area, left-hand side. Here's the dink cross to the far post. Ryan's header over the bar again. He's had a couple of sighters as Ryan. And again, his header goes over the crossbar when maybe he should have hit the target.
Yeah, needs to work on his heading, I think. That's another good opportunity. Again, the ease in which Bournemouth kind of get in behind Palace. Truefair just stands the ball up to that far post. He's up early, above Tyrick Mitchell, Ryan. And again, it's another opportunity where he should be hitting the target.
Big lad, isn't he?
Yeah, he
6'2".
Yeah, he's been very good. He was very good in that first half, but a couple of really good opportunities there with his head, and hasn't hit the target with either of them.
I saw his first goal for Bournemouth here, and it felt like a moment, like you're watching a young player, and you'll remember where you were. You'll remember the game when he scored, and the quality of the goal as well. He barely needed any room. And it was like he just decided he was going to take the game by the scruff of the neck and score. And the power and pace in the finish. At 19, to come over from Brazil and to slot straight into the Premier League and look at home shows some talent.
Yeah, so much more to come from him. He looks, you can see the talent, as you say, the power, the pace, but he's only going to get better.
Lots of clubs interested in him. Yeah. But Bournemouth are saying, look, you can come here, play, and we'll let you go. The right offer comes in. Come and play in the Premier League, make a bit of a name for yourself, get a good move. Here at Palace with Brennan Johnson. Now Strand Larsen. Nice 1-2. Strand Larsen, good covering tackle. Comes in from Senesi. Clears it behind for a Palace corner.
It's lovely football in Crystal Palace. And I mentioned about going back to front a little bit more. And that's exactly what they do here to start this attacking move off. Really culture ball into the feet of Strand Larsen. He gets hold of it. And a nice combination play between him, Brennan Johnson. It's just, he tries to play a 1-2 and get the other side, and then he's inside the box and he's getting a strike when it's just that ball back to him, which isn't quite right from Johnson, and that allows the challenge in from Senesi there.
Corner then for Palace. Wharton takes it left-footed, controlled by a Palace player, shouts for handball against Ryan. Robert Jones was right there and says no penalty, and the ball's all the way through to Dean Henderson, who gave away a penalty in the first half and was absolutely furious about it. And if you watch it back, you'll probably know why. It was given on field and not overturned as Scott helps it forward. Evan Nielsen's little downward header gets a bit of luck, ricochets off a Palace player. Ryan now on the right. Now he'll stretch his legs. He's up against Riyad. Round the outside goes Ryan. He's overrun it though. Good defending actually from Riyad. And it's a goal kick for Crystal Palace.
Yeah, show good pace there. Riyad as a centre-back, you do not want to be in that position. Wide area up against someone who's as pacey and powerful.
Would you have gone,
Ryan.
oh no?
I would have half enjoyed it. Pace was... I didn't struggle for pace, I wasn't too bad, so I probably would have enjoyed that kind of race. But never easy, but he showed good pace there. Riyad, he kind of good body strength as well, just to shepherd that ball kind of over the line.
2-0 to Bournemouth as Palace take the goal kick. Strand Larsen heads up in the air. Danny Gabbidon was suggesting that is what they should do maybe in the second half, is try and go direct. Evan Nielsen very cleverly wins a free kick. He wins loads of those, Evan Nielsen. He's not performed to his XG this season. Coming into this game, he'd scored 6 goals and his XG was about 11.5. What he does do is he's so good on, and he wins free kicks like that.
Yeah. Makes good runs, doesn't he? He's comfortable actually coming towards the ball as well. You know, you're running behind, but he also comes short, and as a defender, that's an absolute nightmare where you're not sure where centre forward is going to go. Comfortable kind of going towards the ball and receiving in those tight areas, drawing fouls.
Sarr tries to play the ball forward, intercepted. Scott picks it up for Bournemouth. Free kick for Palace. Jimenez a little late. Ironic cheers again from the Palace fans opposite us. 2-0 for Bournemouth on 5 Sports Extra, 2 from the BBC and the BBC Sport website. Match of the day tonight, 10:30. BBC One, by the way, Kelly Cates, Alan Shearer and Big Meeks. Good lineup that. And if you hadn't heard this, live commentary of the Miami Grand Prix is on 5 Live at 6 with the build-up at 5:50. They've brought that Grand Prix forward 3 hours because of some weather coming in. So Palace with the free kick to the far side. Lerma, who scored an own goal for Bournemouth's first, wins the header. Devaney goes down in a heap there, and it was a bit clumsy from Krupi Jr. I thought that, and it is a free kick, and it's about 30 to 35 yards out, centre of the goal, but a chance for someone to run up and just try a knuckleball or just put their laces through it. Definitely a shooting opportunity.
Yeah, decent situation for Palace. It's kind of that area where you can maybe try your luck from distance if you have a player of that ability, or you can possibly look to kind of dink one to the far post to a player kind of running in behind. Good from Devaney. Just that ball dropped, he's on to the second ball. Krupi trying to get there first, and he just nicks in, nods the ball away. The contact comes in. It's 100% a foul. If Palace can get a goal back, it totally changes the complexion of the game, doesn't it? And the momentum Bournemouth have.
So Brennan Johnson's over this, and Adam Wharton's left foot. They're just having a discussion between themselves. 30 yards out. Brennan Johnson dinks one in, over hit. Oh dear. I mean, that was all kinds of poor Danny Gabbidon, wasn't it?
Yeah, well, I said it was in that kind of area where, you know, if you've got a kind of a Dominic Sobbers lie, you possibly let him shoot. Probably a little bit too far out for Wharton or Johnson, so they tried to kind of flip one to the far post. Brennan Johnson there, he just gets too much on it. He doesn't allow a runner to kind of get on the end of it.
Krupi Jr. goes down. There's already a free kick though on Jimenez on the far side. He's got his forehead on the turf at the moment, on all fours, after a challenge. He's midway inside his own half on the right hand side. And those fans with the drum you can hear are the Palace fans in the background, who, got to say, have supported their team brilliantly through. I mean, I've not seen Palace, you know, live too many times, maybe 3 or 4 this season, but certainly the worst I've seen them perform that first half, first 45 minutes. It really was poor, no shots at all. And they looked like getting carved open every time Bournemouth had it. But as I mentioned, better in the second half with those 3 changes as the ball's help forward. Senesi and Hill between them get the ball cleared away, only as far as Lerma. He plays the ball into Sarr, and they've got room here. Tyreek Mitchell, left-hand side, byline, whips it back across, shouts for handball, not given. Ryan, challenged, Palace win it back. They've got the ball in the D, through Sarr, good feet, quick feet from him, and he dinks the ball in. Strand Larsen over the bar, and now his head is on the turf because he should have done better, the big Norwegian, and it's a goal kick for Bournemouth.
Yeah, so much better from Palace. So in and out of possession. It's a really good play with the ball. They kind of lose it. They're quick to kind of press and win the ball back. Strand Larsen there just makes a run across the near post. Sarr whips it in. Thought initially could he maybe dive at it with his head a little bit too low, and he elects to go with a side volley, and well, that's a really good chance. Doesn't even hit the target there. Should do a lot better. Much better from Crystal Palace this with the changes made.
Ball's out for a Bournemouth throw deep in their own half. They've lost 7 of the last 13 away games of Crystal Palace, won 5 of them, drawn 1. In the first 28 under Glasner, they only lost 7. So their away form has certainly dipped of late, and this would be an 8th defeat in 14 away if it were to stay like this, 2-0 to Bournemouth. 10 minutes of the second half gone as Bournemouth intercept a pass forward from Palace, and they have it with Trufair on the edge of his own penalty area. Little drag back, nice play from Trufair. When Kirkes went, you thought, how are they going to replace Kirkes? And Trufair from Rennes just slots straight in. And I've got to say, this looks just as good.
Yeah,
I watched loads of them. Seamless.
Probably better on the ball.
Yeah.
Than Milos Kirkes, I would say. And I think it's just hats off to Bournemouth's kind of recruitment. As I mentioned, the succession planning from them. They lose a player, they know that's going to happen. They've got the next one lined up.
Tavernier, corner of the penalty area on the left for Bournemouth, but good challenge from Devaney from Palace. And Tyler Adams helps it back. And this is Bournemouth with a bit of possession, really, for the first time in this half. It's been mostly Palace. And the Red Army shouts go around the Vitality Stadium. Interesting to see what their plan is here long term. You know, they do get into Europe this season. You know, we've got pretty much a temporary stand behind the end to our right.
Are there plans for a new stadium, John? I think I heard that. It was a rumour. But
yeah. I think there's been lots of rumours about a new stadium. But they've just managed the club so well with what they've got, haven't they?
Yeah.
That,
well, this stadium really works for them, I think, as well.
It does.
Atmosphere-wise, and fans kind of really close to the pitch. It's a really difficult place to come for opposition teams. We've seen a lot of teams build new stadiums, shining brand new stadiums, and
Spurs.
Opposition teams, I think, enjoy going there.
They love it. Yeah. Palace on the left with a cross deep over everyone, and behind for a goal kick for Bournemouth. The other side of it is there are loads of people in Bournemouth. I mean, some of my mates who are Bournemouth fans who live in and around Bournemouth, or maybe they want a ticket when they come back. Tickets are like absolute gold dust.
Difficult to
you can't get them.
I think you look at both teams, and over the last few seasons, in terms of how they've been able to manage losing big players. I think even Crystal Palace have been brilliant. You look at the likes of kind of Elise, Eze leaving, obviously Mark Guerhi in January. That was a difficult time for them. They had the Philippe Mateta situation where he wanted to go. Oliver Glasner announced that he was leaving. That was a bit of a difficult time for them, but the way they've kind of come through that Crystal Palace has been brilliant. And as we mentioned, Bournemouth just doesn't seem to affect them losing big players.
Avin Nilsson, brilliant, into the penalty area. Big chance for Bournemouth. Square ball, still a chance. Krupi Jr. deflected, cleared away. I thought he was going to score there, Krupi Jr. He got a sighter of it near the penalty spot on his right foot. And it's a really good block, I think, from Palace. Here come Bournemouth again, forward ball into the penalty area, and it can't find Krupi Jr., and it's through to Dean Henderson.
Yeah, the play from Evan Nielsen, though, to set this up is brilliant. Ball into his feet, and that touch around Lacroix skins him, and he squares it to Krupi, and if he just sees Ryan there to his right, that's a simpler finish. He's got Tyreek Mitchell in front of him there, and he's trying to manufacture a yard to get the strike away. It's good defending from Mitchell, but if he just sees Ryan to his right and he just pops it to his right, he's got a much simpler finish, a better angle. Played forward by Palace, by Canvo, but it doesn't find its
intended touch. Brilliant from Trufair. Skips round 2 challenges. Frees Evan Nielsen down the left-hand side. Palace moving forward does mean there's more room in behind for Bournemouth, but that is a poor square ball. Looking for Ryan on the edge of the penalty area. He just under-hit it, and it was really easy to read for Tyrick Mitchell. And Palace are back in possession. Much more open now, Danny Gabidon.
Yeah, and Palace have to go that way a little bit with the scoreline being 2-0. That also suits Bournemouth as well because they can play in a lot of different ways. They're very good at kind of controlling the game, knowing what's needed from the game in a certain situation. They can control possession, slow things down, play through the lines. They're not scared to actually put the ball in behind as well.
So Bournemouth are currently in 6th in the Premier League, as it stands. 8th before today, but with this 2-0 scoreline, 6th in the Premier League. And a reminder that if Aston Villa win the Europa League and finish 5th, that is a Champions League spot. That would be quite something, wouldn't it?
I'm not quite sure about 6 teams being in the Champions League, 6-7 teams or English teams being in the Champions League next year. I'm not sure that's kind of fair, but it would be an unbelievable achievement there.
Taveni looked like a handball, but it's a goal kick anyway. The referee Robert Jones gives a goal kick. He came running in and it was a bouncing ball and he just kind of lent his right elbow towards it. Out for a goal kick for Bournemouth. No, the Europa League spot at the very least. Anyway, with 5 guaranteed Champions League places, that would be interesting to throw that into the mix for Bournemouth, wouldn't it? Or Brentford. You'd love to see it for both of them, wouldn't you, really? A lot of people would say, it's going to be no good for them, for the league, but what an adventure for the fans. Who've used to watching these in League 2. I watched them get promoted from League 2 under a transfer embargo under Eddie Howe, at Burton Albion, with a few hundred Bournemouth fans there. Incredible achievement, but we're in League 2 not long ago.
Yeah, it'd be incredible. And you look at the Premier League and all the big teams and the finances and how these teams like Crystal Palace and Bournemouth having to kind of fight against that. It's so difficult to kind of have success. So I think it just shows the 2 clubs, how well they kind of run and the recruitment, how good the recruitment is, how you're able to kind of have seasons like this and kind of fight again with the big boys. And unbelievable, really. You throw Brentford, Brighton in there as well.
In comes the free kick. Hill wins a header. It's a square header across the penalty area. It's an offside flag gone up. I don't know if that's against Hill or it's from his header, but I thought that was quite a good opportunity to head goalwards from Hill. I'd have to see it again. But it's a good free kick. They've won the first contact. It's a free kick to Palace in their own penalty area, as it is, though. And Bournemouth have been in this kind of position quite a few times this season. 2-0 up, 40 minutes to go. Is it 40 minutes or half an hour? Half an hour. Half an hour to go, sorry. Half an hour to go. There's no clock appeared in front of us for a sec. Half an hour to go, and they have thrown leads like this away this season. So they'll want another one.
Yeah, they certainly will. That would I'd probably finish Crystal Palace off, but it is about kind of managing the game, and I think the games I've seen this season, they've actually done that quite well. Like I said, they know when to slow the game down, keep possession, they know when to kind of go and counter-attack, and it is about understanding that in this kind of last half an hour, and understanding that Palace are pressing a little bit more now and playing with a little bit more momentum, and just mindset-wise, just doing what the game kind of requires, really, to kind of see out those dangerous situations. And more Palace push, then obviously more chance of Bournemouth, I think, kind of going the other end and getting the third and really killing the game off.
Palace with possession on the edge of their own penalty area and moving forward through Riyadh, through the centre of the pitch to Strand Larsen. It's not a good pass from Strand Larsen, given away by Bournemouth, and then one back by Evan Nielsen. He goes down in a heap, no free kick. Forward come Palace. Big chance here, maybe. Strand Larsen, if he can whip it to the far side, and he can. Brennan Johnson in the penalty area. Twisting, turning, shooting. He's going wide anyway, but Petrovic made sure of it. Low down to his right-hand side. And this is where maybe Bournemouth can break. They love having this room, and there are 3 players jogging back for Palace as Trufair brings it to the halfway line. and gives it to Scott. And we're going to see Jean-Philippe Mateta enter the fray here. I imagine that'll be for Strand Larsen, or whether he'll play two big uns up the front, we'll wait and see. Strand Larsen really hasn't been that effective. Maybe that ball where he's just given it away over here was maybe the last straw for Oliver Glasner.
Yeah, that wasn't great for him, but second half, I think, when they have got the ball into his feet, he's made one or two things happen. When the ball's kind of stuck and he's kind of linked and got those wide players involved, Palace have looked a little bit better.
Ryan down the outside of Mitchell, can he get to the ball? No, he can't. Good foot race that, and it's back with the goalkeeper. Dean Henderson will take a goal kick, and it will be like for like. It will be Strand Larsen for Mateta. Straight change. It's going to give him half an hour or whatever here, isn't he? So with that Shakhtar Donetsk game in mind at Selhurst Park with a 3-1 advantage in the week.
Yeah, had that Wogan chance as well. Strand Larsen, when he's just started to that near post and should have done better with a connection on the volley, but he's not a 4-4-2 man, is he, Oliver Glasner? I don't think I've ever seen him play that two up top. So straight swap with Mateta coming on.
Who do you believe?
None of us knew the depth of that relationship.
If the lines are blurred,
Can you read between them?
Depth of the relationship.
when the story breaks,
Who brings perspective?
The mistake I made.
if you want to understand the issues that define our
This is going to be fantastic. Here on 5 Live, full commentary on the way in just a couple of minutes for Manchester United against Liverpool. You do have a choice of listening. Sports Extra 2, you will find Bournemouth Crystal Palace in the Premier League. Henry Moran.
The second half, Bournemouth heading 6th. They lead by 2-0. Palace better since the break have introduced Mateta as well as Sarr and Wharton. But it remains Bournemouth 2, Crystal Palace 0.
If you want full commentary of Bordeaux Bath in the Champions Cup semi-final rugby, that's on Sports Extra. Chris Jones.
Loose for Bath. Well, Bath have hit back to score. Lovely crossfield kick from Ben Spencer. Will Muir plucked it out the air. Bath back on level terms, and then they've hit back, haven't they? Bordeaux straight away, forward power, backline incision. Who else but Louis Bielbieri in the corner, brilliantly converted by Luku. 3 tries already, Steve. It's a classic so far. Bordeaux 14, Bath 7 after 17 minutes.
Naden, thank you very much. Speak to you soon.
Thank you, sir.
Jules,
Yes, sir.
you're staying put, yes?
Yes.
Excellent. Julien Laurent staying with us, so he'll be back at half-time and at full-time of Manchester United Liverpool in the Premier League on 5 Live with Dion Dublin and Ali Bruceball.
Welcome back to Old Trafford on 5 Live and BBC Sounds. As you can hear, it is absolutely bouncing. Michael Carrick, the Manchester United interim manager, played in 23 of these games as a Manchester United player. Let's put it in his words, in his programme notes. Short column today, couple of pages in to the Manchester United programme. We do not need to tell anyone involved how much this fixture means. The rivalry speaks for itself. The world watches these fixtures, and I would say, Michael, listens as well. On the radio, on the BBC Sounds app. Hopefully you're enjoying the atmosphere which is coming through loud and clear this afternoon. The players have shaken hands. They've moved into the alternate halves of the field. Manchester United in the red shirts, white shorts and black socks. Bruno Fernandes, the captain, is waiting for Virgil van Dijk, who's just exchanging a pre-match hug with Cody Gakpo. Now he comes striding towards the centre circle. Two of the most prominent figures in the Premier League leading these two teams, who cannot win a trophy this season. Liverpool champions last season, but start today 3 points behind Manchester United in the league table. Worth pointing out as well, a Bournemouth win this afternoon takes them to 52 points. They could still finish on 61 points in the Premier League table. Manchester United are currently on 61 and Liverpool are on 58. So both, if Bournemouth win that game, have a little bit of work left to do to guarantee Champions League football next season. But Dion, you know all about this fixture. The players now at this moment, and probably for the last hour or two, they're not thinking about any of that stuff we've been talking about in the build-up to this game. They're thinking about, I represent Manchester United, I represent Liverpool, let's go.
They're thinking about their own individual performance. Who am I playing against? I've watched videos. Videos is going back a long way, actually. I've watched footage of my opposite number. I have to get the better of my opposite number. I've got to do my job. If my teammates follow suit, we'll be okay. The nerves are there now. The nerves.
Manchester United trying to do the double in the league over Liverpool for the first time in a decade. Welcome to our listeners across the globe via the BBC World Service. You're here for Manchester United, Liverpool, under leaden skies in Manchester, cool breeze blowing around the stadium. A 184th meeting in the league between these two giants. 70 wins for Manchester United, 62 for Liverpool in the history of this league fixture. Early touch for Liverpool's keeper Freddie Woodman, all in green away to our right, clears the ball downfield and it ends up in the penalty area of Manchester United, the home team. They have Senna Lomans in goal. He's got the ball at his feet. Dalot, Maguire, Aidan Heaven and Luke Shaw, the back four. Casemiro and Kobbie Mainoo in front of them. Brian Mbeumo, Bruno Fernandes, Mateus Cunha in support of centre-forward Benjamin Sesko. The one change from the home win against Brentford on Monday night sees Cunha come in for Amad Diallo, who's dropped to the bench. Loman's clearance headed away by Curtis Jones at right back for Liverpool. They're in the cream shirts, black shorts, red trim, cream socks. And there's Wirtz on the right-hand side. Celebrating his 23rd birthday today. Starts by passing the ball out of play. You can hear the reaction from the Manchester United fans. Liverpool missing plenty of players at the moment. Freddie Woodman is their goalkeeper. Curtis Jones at right back. Konate and Van Dijk, the two centre-backs. Andy Robertson, all that experience, having a right old wrestle with Brian Mbeumo there as Manchester United build up. Robertson is Liverpool's left back. And he's on the back foot here as Manchester United comes streaming down the right-hand side. And Mbeumo has got Fernandes on his outside. Fernandes with the cutback. Early chance to create an assist there for Manchester United as he chases this Premier League record. It was cut out though. Liverpool bring it away. Robertson's pass goes astray. Maguire steps in to intercept. The ball is played forward to Fernandes. Cross comes in. Sesko's there. Jones with the challenge. The flag is up. It's offside. It has started, Dion Dublin, at 100 miles an hour.
What a start by the... Listen to the noise, listen to the cheers. The fans appreciating the energy that both sides have put into these first few minutes. Bruno Fernandes down the right-hand side, trying to stick a couple of crosses in behind that back four of Liverpool. Konate and Virgil van Dijk having to stay incredibly alert. Sesko staying in between those two. Great place to be as a centre-forward. What a great place to be as a player today, let me tell you.
Very lucky to be sitting inside this stadium enjoying this. Freddie Woodman drops the ball at his feet inside the penalty area. Bruno Fernandes with his left arm directing operations for Manchester United tells everyone to back off. Sports Extra 3 at the moment has full commentary of that second playoff semi-final in the National League. Rochdale denied on the last day of the season by that late equaliser from York. Leads Scunthorpe by a goal to nil. In the WSL, Chelsea a 3-1 up at Leicester. This is Manchester United 0, Liverpool 0. Just to complete that Liverpool lineup, so Gravenberch's come into the team today. Isak is out with a groin injury. You've got Gravenberch, McAllister and Soboslai, and then Jeremy Frimpong wide right, Wirtz on the left, and Gakpo through the middle. Although as they line up at the moment, you've actually got Wirtz as the centre forward, Gakpo on the left, and Soboslai just playing off Florian Wirtz. So that'll be fluid.
Yeah, I think they won't mind. I don't think the manager Slot will mind who plays in that sort of false nine position, as long as it's filled and there's clean shirts in those positions. It will be Soboslai at times as well, it will be Gakpo, it doesn't matter. Fill the spaces, do the job.
Throw in for Manchester United. The ball is already inside the Liverpool half. Gravenberch gets there, passes it back to Woodman, sweeps it away with his right foot. Poor clearance, intercepted by Mbeumo. Mbeumo tries to shovel a pass infield. It does reach Cunha. He's looking for Sesko. Casemiro steps forward and wins a header. Better touch from Mbeumo here. Gets the ball on his left foot, kills it in towards the far post, aimed at Sesko, who jumps, can't get a proper contact with the header, and it glides behind for a goal kick to Liverpool. Manchester United 0, Liverpool 0.
It's a great ball in. It's a great ball in, by the way, from Mbeumo on the right-hand side. It's an in-swinger. He's curling it towards the edge of that 6-yard box at the far post. He's trying to pick out Sesko there, but he gets sort of squashed out by Konate and Jones. And I do believe that's a really difficult ball for centre forward to get onto. But what a great start by United as well.
Liverpool letting Freddie Woodman have plenty of the ball at his feet. Their 29-year-old goalkeeper started in the Premier League against Crystal Palace last weekend. They won the game by 3-1. Second Premier League start for him in his career. Manchester United say handball by Florian Wirtz. Referee Darren England agrees. Both managers standing out on the edge of the pitch. There's a slight incline, steep incline, all the way around the playing surface here at Old Trafford, so it goes up a few yards and then it's quite narrow, that little patch of AstroTurf that takes you up to the touchline. Arne Slot, black jacket, long sleeves, dark trousers, trainers. Michael Carrick all in dark colours as well, hands in pockets. Mainoo's ball to Harry Maguire, scored the winner at Anfield earlier in the season for Manchester United. Past to Dalot, clever ball to Mbeumo, cross comes in, Sesko goes for it at the near post. Assistant referee says corner for Manchester United.
Brilliant managed by the forward Sesko there. He went on the far side of Konate, then at the last minute, just as the ball was being fired in towards the near post, he just tries to get across him there, just out of eye shot, and Konate does enough. But that's the kind of run as a centre forward, because those balls will be coming in all day from that right hand side.
Great call from the assistant referee. Sesko got the first touch, Konate in just behind, well spotted Dion as well. So quite rightfully it's been given as a corner to Manchester United. Attacking the east stand away to our right. Old Trafford is jam-packed. Corner into the near post, headed away, shot hit by Cunha, comes back to Cunha, and he's found the bottom with his left foot. Listen to that noise inside Old Trafford. That's what a goal against Liverpool means. Cunha slides forward on his stomach, leaps to his feet, jumps onto the imaginary surfboard, is surrounded by his celebrating teammates, and Manchester United lead Liverpool by a goal to nil.
That's unbelievable, because I thought the corner was awful from Mbeumo. It hits the near post. I'm thinking, you've got to beat the first man. He gets headed out to right in the centre of the D, and Cunha strikes the ball with his right foot into the ground. It bounces, hits a defender, comes out again. He hits it with his left foot into the ground. This time it misses every defender and sneaks it at the far post. He won't hit a worse shot, but he won't care one bit.
I could just see a member of the Liverpool backroom team having a chat with the fourth official, Anthony Taylor, talking about two Manchester United players in an offside position, coming back away from goal as Cunha hits the shot, but they are nowhere near the goalkeeper's vision, are they?
Nothing in that at all. I mean, the keeper, I think, can see the ball as clear as day. It actually takes a bit of a ricochet. I think it might come off McAllister as well. So that's why it's a ricochet of McAllister.
No chance for Freddie Woodman. Huge noise inside Old Trafford. Manchester United lead 1-0. Goal at Bournemouth. Henry Moran.
That'll be the points in sixth place for Bournemouth. They lead Palace by 3-0. Ryan played through on the right-hand side, finds the bottom corner, his fourth since a winter move. It's Palace who are a 3-goal deficit now. Bournemouth 3, Palace 0.
Gakpo's header is wide of goal. Goal kick Manchester United. They lead 1-0. We are going racing now on 5 Live and BBC Sounds live to Newmarket for the 1,000 guineas. Here's John Hunt.
They're approaching the halfway stage. We've got a packed house here, Ali, but my word, nothing like the atmosphere with you at Old Trafford, where Man United lead, and we'll be right back there in a moment. Venetian Lace takes the field along here in the 1,000 guineas, pursued by Mubasima, who's in second place. The group over on the far side, that's where the favourite Precise is racing slightly off the pace, keeping an eye on the well-fancied Venetian Sun. My Highness is putting her nose forward through now, ahead of Evolutionist. Innes Moore is trying to stay on. The Prettiest Star with a chance as well. Meanwhile, stand side, we've got Abashiri trying to improve, and just in behind those, True Love, who will test her stamina in just a moment or two. Meanwhile, Evolutionist is doing best over on the far side. Precise now with a run on the far side with every chance. Then Venetian Sun. True Love now beginning to explode on the scene down the centre of the track. True Love and Evolutionist go on. True Love, my word, she stays all right. And True Love wins it for Aidan O'Brien. Evolutionist was second. Venetian Lace, one of the outsiders, was third. And the favourite Precise finished back in the ruck. So the Guineas has been won by Aidan O'Brien. True Love, written by Willie Lawden, and that is a fabulous performance by the Royal Ascot winner from last year.
Thank you, John. As ever, you never miss a thing on 5 Live and the BBC Sounds app. Manchester United leading Liverpool 1-0. Bournemouth 3-0 up against Crystal Palace. Well into the second half, that one. Commentary continues on Sports Extra 2. Bordeaux Bath in full over on Sports Extra in the second semi-final of the Champions Cup, and Rochdale won up on Scunthorpe in the National League playoff semi-final. Again, available as a commentary right now on Sports Extra 3. So what have Liverpool got in response here? Bournemouth winning comfortably against Crystal Palace. That means a draw for Manchester United today. Guarantees Champions League football for the first time in 3 seasons next season. Liverpool are going to need a little bit more than that. Starting today, 3 points behind Manchester United. If United win this game, of course, that lead of United's over Liverpool's goes to 6. Sobersley inside right channel. Support from Gravenberg. Low cross comes in. Heaven is there. Tumbling backwards, clears with his left foot. Curtis Jones collects on the right. Dion Dublin.
Yeah, Liverpool have had the last few minutes in the middle of the park, just getting